The fucking Fall of Fulgrim still makes me laugh. Does anyone not know?
No, I've listened to that one.
We've openly discussed it in Discord as well. Like,
he just watches a couple snakes fuck around his fancy sword, and he's like, yeah, I am into this. You know what?
No.
Yeah.
It's the demon weapon. It's, as Ewan pointed out, Eldrad Ulfwan, the strongest Eldar Farsi there is, standing on a maiden world, completely fucking his role to perceive a Slaneshi demon weapon.
I think it really suffers from the fact that you can see that they were clearly only going to do like 8 to 10 books, and Fulgrim was probably going to be one of the only people who got a book, and then the books were doing really well, and suddenly they started stringing it out, which, you know, I'm glad. I like the strung out.
More people got books, but that also meant that Fulgrim's fall of basically stepping off a curb and face planting the floor.
I would like to see Fulgrim get significant rewrites, honestly. I think it could really benefit from it. Anywho, there's young Nicholas. So we should probably start. Though I will note for young Nicholas and Ollie, if you scroll up in the Discord a little bit, there is I've not put the vents or anything on it yet, but the early first draft of the Price of Defiance.
I mean, if you put the vents on it, it just becomes like just really small hashes. Surely, just so many vents.
Yep. It is really fucking big. You are flying a Space Hulk. It has.
Can you make us a transparent vents overlay, please?
I can actually, yes. For the record, I've also left you a bit at the front, which is just going to be like vent. You no longer have an armored prow because it's been tunneled through, basically. It also has my favorite.
Sort of doesn't matter because we've just got the sheer mass to power through most things.
Well, yes, but it will crunch. It does have my favorite feature, which Benji has already complained about, which is you have a muzzle loading, or at least breech loading Nova Cannon.
It's the worst fucking thing imaginable. It is the stupidest thing.
You put the shell in at the top, you rack it backwards, then you fire it out.
Do you have to get like a giant piece of like paper, a giant stick as well?
You've
like one ship.
Probably got like it because it's a Nova Cannon, so it's going to have accelerators along the barrel anyway.
I'm just seeing now, just like one of our punishments is just stringing someone in front of the Nova Cannon like you used to do.
You can't use the Nova Cannon for executions. That is
why not?
Want to. Just like chaining a guy in space.
I genuinely.
You might as well just chain him to a macro cannon. The effect would be the same.
Yeah.
The point. It's the point.
Like, I guess conceivably you could chain him to the front of the shell and then fire that. but I still think they probably die quite quickly.
Instantaneously.
Yeah. We've given you a power field. It should give you a few extra seconds of horror. Enjoy.
That's a waste of a power field.
It is a waste of a power field. It's a waste of exactly.
Yeah.
For fuck's sakes.
If we're blowing up an overcannon shell, may as well give them a force field.
I mean, like...
Or we could just do this hands-on style.
If we're going to be putting someone in space, spacing them will do the trick.
Two very distinct subgroups here of style points and practicality. I do want to...
When we're going to battle, we need a Nova Cannon. Just strap all our prisoners then.
I mean, you could still keel haul them. Like, that's like a good middle ground, right?
You need a lot of rope.
And you're not
we have Gothic architecture. Who needs barnacles?
Yeah. Like,
one is distinctly more flesh-rippy.
I feel like at the speed a ship goes through the void, keel hauling someone over a giant metal cathedral is going to be about as bad.
Well, not really, because the damage you'd be doing from the keel hauling would be relative to the ship.
Yeah, your ship is 20 kilometers long.
Yeah, which sort of implies that they'll be dead of the spacing long before they're dead of the keel hauling.
If they're a marine, you can forcibly give them that coating that proofs them against space. Then they'd be conscious through it.
That's a thing.
If somehow for some reason the cathedrals are as spiky as you say. No, it wouldn't, because it would rip holes in the.
You've seen pictures of Imperial ships. Even the good guys are spiky. It's all spikes.
Yeah, it is all spikes. Sorry, are you arguing that it wouldn't be effective or that it wouldn't do damage? Because
can you imagine being...
Not in the way you think.
Can you imagine being...
I agree. It wouldn't work very well as keel hauling. You're basically just throwing someone at a cathedral.
Okay,
well, yeah, but like if you drag them
over Bath Abbey, you would not be a happy chappy after that, and that is significantly smaller.
Because of the roughness of the stone, not the spikiness of the crenellations.
Yeah, I will say, if Benji's objection is it doesn't work as keel holding, not that it wouldn't hurt someone, then I am on his side. You would just be hucking people into a spiky cathedral. They're not going to get heel hauled, they're going to get impaled.
I've always thought that it's not actually metal; it's still like rock, but it's like rock it's like space rock. You know, not space
rockcrete.
Rockcrete, right? It's still
no,
rock.
You do not make void ships out of rockcrete.
Why not? In space anyway.
Cathedrals on ships.
I mean, yeah, but I would also point out that it's not like the panels are perfectly sealed as if they're seamless.
Like we are literally on a space hulk right now.
I'm just thinking of that World War II. Well, you're functionally on a space hulk. It's not technically a space hulk, for the record. I'm just thinking of that World War II thing about the aircraft hangar made out of ice and how we've given Magnus like shitty Churchill voice. I present to you all my plan for a battleship made out of ice.
And fire.
It'll be space ice.
There was a thing, right? There was a plan, or it maybe had been made, of ships in World War II that are made out of a mixture of ice and sawdust.
That is what I was talking about, and it did not get made. Ollie, man, you got to stop talking over people.
Huh? Okay.
Was he? You distinctly stopped on mine, and then he said something.
I had stopped, but he keeps talking over Carl on mine.
I didn't hear Carl.
Yeah, I didn't hear Carl either. Sorry though, Carl. I stopped once before when you were talking.
That time I was, but this time I wasn't. That was more of a like as in me humming or like whatever in agreement.
Yeah, I don't think it's you like deliberately going "fuck you, Carl" or indeed "fuck you, anyone, Ollie." I think maybe your internet's at a slight second lag, so you're speaking when you hear a gap, but there isn't a gap.
Yeah, that's probably it. It.
Sorry, that came off really aggressive. I didn't mean it to. I apologise. That's on me.
It's fine.
Ollie, stop speaking over Carl.
You know who I blame for this? Young Nicholas.
I knew that was coming. I fucking knew it. I was like, I've been too quiet.
I do want to say, in my defense as well, I didn't realise that I'd given you a muzzle-loading Nova Cannon with a crossbow for a figurehead until after I'd done it, but I now fully support that your Nova Cannon has to be wound up.
Like giant cables that like fling it out.
It's just a big thing. Like logically, from this map, it would be located in the plasma drive.
Couldn't we have, Ewan? Couldn't you have just given us a massive lance weapon running the length of the ship?
I could have.
Yeah, we could have done that. I always forget the name of the Arc Mechanicus.
You do not
Speranza?
have an Arc Mechanicus.
No, I know we don't. Yeah, Benji knows.
You have two ships.
That is
welded
different.
To
That is not a lance weapon.
No, I know it's not. It's a black hole gun that shoots you back in time slightly and makes you collide with yourself.
Yes.
You, for the record, have a giant lance weapon that runs the length of your top ship. You've just chosen to hide it and not use it.
Yeah, where's our ship?
No, we don't. Where do we have that?
It's still there.
It's not marked on the map, but it is still there.
We didn't have. Oh, you mean? Oh, that's still attached? I thought I had that disassembled.
No, it's slotted in. It's all part. It's Space Hulk style.
The rest of the crew schemed around you, so it's still in there. Sort of, I guess picture it as wedged between the top of your ship. You can actually see the outline of your ship up the top there. The prow is still in place. I tried to structure this so that in extremis, if you had to, you could still snap your ship out of it.
Yeah, I saw that.
A lot of things would break, but not everything.
It's a shame that the Leviathan Vault is now its own official building, though, rather than the... I guess technically this is the reason it's a Space Hulk. It's really 3 ships mashed into one, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, that's a very good point. I hadn't considered that the Leviathan Vault was originally a destroyer, right? So that means it's now been... It's the expanded, bloated carcass of a destroyer. I've also added a zoo slightly north of it.
Yeah, I saw that. I love that. What's VS? Is that Void Shield?
Void Shield, yeah. Void Shield and Gellerfield are VS and GF.
Yeah.
Please tell me we've got more than one Void Shield.
You have many Void Shields.
Oh, initially.
Oh yeah, the Architect Void Shield array.
I also like the.
There are 2 of those. Sorry, Ollie.
I like the Hall of Memories, which is where I'm going to be putting.
Shall we get on though?
Yeah, let's do it. But I was going to say Nick's Power Fist, the tail. other assault against the Primarchs.
It's where you generally put trophies and things from prior battles.
You need to put the E-cannon in there.
Yeah. Oh, I will also add, sorry, we will get on, but I will also add, you'll note the Slough jail in the bottom left, directly attached to a plasma-accelerated torpedo tube, which I came across in the Rogue Trader rulebook, which is separate to your boarding tube, so that you don't have to have the Knights in the same area the Marines are for the purposes of torpedoes.
Oh, I just thought it was like, I completely forgot he had the Knights of Slough. I thought it was just a worse jail that you would call Slough.
Oh, I can see that. That makes complete logical sense to me.
Right.
Anywho, at some point we may end up running a little, murder mystery aboard the ship as not Marines, because I think that'd be fun and dumb.
Oh, it was the Knights of Slough all along.
The Birmingham system, containing Birmingham, Slough, and Swindon.
Oh my God, we should do something at the Birmingham system. That'd be great. What a good idea. Can anyone do a Brummie accent?
Just sound really depressed all the time.
I don't have to try to do that.
Oh, yeah, but you know.
So, you're saying most of us sound like Brummies?
Birmingham.
Birmingham.
Just sound like someone's pissed on me chips all the time.
Birmingham. You just say Birmingham in that way, and no, you go down Dudley.
That was weirdly Irish.
Yeah, that was much more Irish.
Yeah, no. The problem is because I was thinking that I went to Lewis's stag do in Birmingham, and we were doing that bit.
Lewis, who's Irish,
as in Lewis Green.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh dear.
Oh, the
Right, okay. So let's have some reminders from last session.
Oh my God.
Nazeem has a soul ping on Father to the northeast. The mollusk shell building off to the west, and Maccy wants to go there. Oh, there is a mollusk shell building off to the west, and Maccy wants to go there. Maccy is willing to take partial blame for the drop pod plan. Never heard the phrase "the buck stops here," have we, Ollie?
I'm an opportunist.
Yeah, I mean, either you're to blame or a subordinate's to blame, and how can you rule effectively if you can't blame the appropriate subordinate? And one of them did come up with this plan. Nazeem wants to go find Father first. Cattle wants to suck up hard. Carl, you have an NPC character in play, not your regular character, because I think you forgot at various points last time.
That is correct.
Coayah is trying to show off to Ahriman. Coayah wants to tell Magnus his plan sucks. The extra U's are written down, so I'm guessing you put emphasis on it. And Magnus has fucked off. Okay.
Only off doing nerd shit.
He is off doing nerd shit. Well, right now he's off doing battle-y shit, but battle nerd shit. As is his wont. Alright, who wants to go first? We have in Group A, Coayah, and in Group B, Maccy, Coatlmox, Coatlmox, and Nazeem.
I think, do we end with... I think Benji's group had only just started getting going, right?
No, they're in the thick of the fighting.
I mean, I remember they got fine, but I don't remember if they had as much screen time as we did last session.
Oh, I see what you mean.
I should have just led with that, I think.
So we can do Benji then. So Benji, I believe we left Coayah and Ahriman and a smattering of members of the Thousand Suns blasting their way through the central temple of the witches of Oriatrith. I think you'd been trying to showboat, and I think you'd put up an admirable job, but were getting outclassed by Ahriman.
Yeah, because we both got 4 degrees of success, but he has unnatural willpower, which means he was doing better than me.
Yeah, well, especially with Deathwatch's unnatural rules. It's gone from so he's beat you slightly to, no contests.
Cheating bastard.
He is a cheating bastard. And apparently an amateur... Would you call someone who makes wine?
Vinter?
Vinter, thank you. An amateur Vinter. What were your goals and aims right now, Coayah? as near as you can tell, you are the only member of your legion currently in the city. I think, you are aware at the very least over the Voxnet, even if you've not seen any through like windows yet. But you are, which I guess you may have, you are very much aware that the drop pod invasion above is not going well. At least at this site, absolute crap tons of drop pods are getting whicked straight out of the sky.
We're going to need to disrupt some witches.
Okay. So what are we saying to Araman?
Do you think your Primarch can handle things here? Taking out their command structure?
Araman gives you a dry little chuckle.
I think he can handle things most places. He's independently minded.
Well, I'm sure they all like to think they are. In any case, I'm going to try and head off to see if I can disrupt some of these... What would be the appropriate terminology for these people? Taverns? Meetings? Parliaments? A parliament of witches, I like that one.
A parliament of witches, indeed. Misguided plumbers of the great ocean.
Yes, if we can disrupt them, then some of our drop pods might not be getting so... I just want to watch one go flying past, clearly into a mountain at way faster than it should be.
It is spinning like, slightly off its axis, but incredibly much faster than it should be. You can see a telekinetic shield of force trying to materialize in front of it, breaking it through the air, but it blasts through a building, through another building, into the mountain, and with a massive fiery plume, explodes. You see something go flying out of it. I will take a speedy scrutiny of a perception check, please.
Have scrutiny.
This is visible through a little window, which is not plated. It's like a gap in the shell itself. It looks like it's been grown out of the shell. You and Araman have come to not like a natural halt, but the witches in your local area are dead. Intermittently, someone comes at you and
only 45.
You chop them down, or Araman incinerates them with bio lightning.
That's a fail of 45. Only 2 degrees.
Yeah, probably just some wreckage. It's fine. We will get back to you, but...
Not my problem.
Young Nicholas, can I get a dodge test, please?
Hello.
I'm in danger.
Yeah. Is this for Nazeem or in general?
For Nazeem.
Oh, dear Lord.
If you failed that, then you deserve to get hit on a 38.
Do I have anything in dodge?
Yes, you're a space marine.
What armor are you wearing?
I'm in Terminator.
Oh no! You can't dodge. You're in Terminator armor.
You can't dodge, can you?
No.
I mean, the idea is you don't need to dodge if you're in Terminator armor.
Yeah, theoretically.
Is that what you do a toughness test instead?
You can dodge in Tartarus, but I think we've been treating it as all as Cataphracti.
I mean, I would find some Tartarus at some point.
Look up, you move to dodge instinctively, and then remember that you are in fact wearing Terminator armor. Roll me your power shield rating.
Just love the idea of you moving into the armor, but the armor just not moving at all. Internally, you're there
The machine spirit creaks in protest, reminding you that it is not power armor, it is nimble. It wants to stay and fight.
I'm all good. Rating is 35.
Wait, 35? Is
Power,
it 50 on a set?
Power field, it's a, is it?
Cataphracti Terminator armor. It's got at least 50, surely.
I don't think you've all got Cataphracti.
I have a force field. It's a
there's 2 types. There's Cataphracti or Tartarus at this point. Indomitus isn't a widely available pattern.
So we've only been counting it as standard Terminator armor from, I think,
we definitely have, and I'm going to say that it's probably standard Termi armor, because even if it's not widely available, you have a shit ton of Terminator armor, and if anyone's going to have it, it's you. And also, the Termi armor that is the best Termi armor has been regularly diverted towards Havoc.
It's true.
That means I have the 50 plus.
Some might argue that maybe people other than the heavy weapons teams need the best quality Terminator armor, but that is not the Legion Master's point of view, nor is it the point of view of the Quartermasters, who are all members of Havoc, and you all laughed at him for this. Creed, what are you going to say?
I would point out Command Crew, though.
We say, just for the record, in usual law, you can't even take off Terminator armor without a Tech Priest, Tech Marine standing, so I'll probably also be involved in a lot of this Terminator armor sending out.
And I'm just me.
So the point being, your power shield absorbs the kinetic impact as something comes whicking through the sky. A missile, a bullet, a bird. No.
No, it's part of Superman.
It is a charred marine's arm clutching a long pole. And fluttering from that pole, as the arm bounces off of your force shield, you see the fraying, burning flag of your legion. The legionary standard bearer's pod has just gone down, and though he did not relinquish control of the standard, he did relinquish possession of his arm. Unknown how the rest of him's faring.
He should be flogged for this later on.
Find enough of him.
Will you carry the standard or should I, brother?
No, I shall carry it. I'm assuming we all have... This is just Nick having no idea how marine armor works. We can all affix the standard to our armor somehow on our back, I'm assuming?
Nope. You, especially not Terminator armor, that's where your vents are. You have to carry it. Also, it is a standard. The purpose is to carry it.
I see.
It is a matter of honor.
Professionals have standards.
Exactly. Essentially, if you can't carry it in your hand, you're not considered worthy of carrying it.
Can I carry it with my tummy hands? I'm assuming I can.
Yes.
Depends. What
you carrying?
Yeah, exactly. What do you have in your hands?
I have the chain fist and I have a power sword.
Okay, power sword would be a regular Terminator gauntlet, so that can carry the standard.
Okay.
Chain fist can't very well. You technically could try.
You'd probably damage the standard.
You would definitely damage the standard. But it would be better than leaving it on the ground.
Put it on your back, maybe.
No, I can't do that.
As mentioned, not only would it not fit, but you definitely shouldn't put it on your back. That would be incredibly dishonourable.
You know what? I'll carry it, yeah. I'll sheath my power swords? I can't sheath it.
It's got a connector on your hip.
Yeah, it'll have a
connector or a scabbard on your hip.
Exactly.
Probably a connector because you're a Terminator. It's very difficult to draw your sword as a Terminator.
I was going to say scabbard, but I think Benji is correct. It would be a connector, like a mag holster, basically.
Nice, dunk, and then pick up the standard.
Yep, bending over slightly sideways so that you get the flexibility. I will take a speedy strength check. You get all your Terminator bonuses to try and prise Hannibal Lecter's hand off it.
I could just carry it with that.
Maybe don't, though?
No, it's not. Okay, that's... Oof.
The thing is, you get plus
30.
Remember you get
plus 30.
Plus 40, isn't it?
Plus 30. Plus 20 for standard power armor, plus 30 for turn.
Yeah, plus 30, and it's got a higher multiplier.
Yeah, so you have a 3 times strength modifier for whatever strength bonus you have.
If you succeed.
If you succeed.
Which you didn't.
Which is hilarious.
So you really try, but Hannibal Lecter's Hannibal Lecter's hand is stuck in there, but good. Like, even in death, he refuses. Not that you know he's dead, but, Coayah saw him explode.
Even in death, I still carry.
It was only one doff. It's only one doff.
You know what, though? It kind of makes for a good Hall of Remembrance kind of style item. Slowly rotting arm inside a power. The man.
He's not strictly wrong, to be fair.
To be fair, we can just add it to the standard.
Yeah.
Yeah, you try, and you're going like, okay, I'll get this eventually. When other members of the squad around you go, no. He's still serving his duty in death. Leave the hand.
Is it just a hand, or is there an arm there?
It is a full arm. It came off at the shoulder.
Okay, I'm
and even with that leverage, you can't get it off.
Okay, company inventory. This is going straight in the company inventory. We have in it an E-cannon hung on the ceiling of the Havoc squad quarters and one octopus kaiju. Oh, Legion and Standard. What was his name? Hannibal
Lictor. In a moment of weakness, I allowed the pun name, and I've been meaning to kill him off for about 35 sessions now.
And now he should be immortalized.
Did anyone else get the pun?
Lictor for Tyranids, I presume?
No. Lictor for Lictors of Ancient Rome, presumably.
Who are the guys who carry the flags and walk out front.
Yeah, I thought
it's not a clever joke.
They also carry the faces.
Yeah, but no one likes faces.
No, fucking Mussolini.
I always say bear out than anyway.
So...
Yes, it's not a good joke, but it was a joke.
I must erase evidence that I have punned from the internet. So, back at Coayah's squad. I guess I say squad. Yeah, fuck it, squad. Coayah's group. Some random wreckage. What were you suggesting to Ahriman?
If he could feel where there was a collection of psychic energy, aka a parliament of witches, which I could break. Gonna go full fucking Cromwell on their ass.
Sorry, I was just thinking the Cromwell is unironically a fairly good name for a vehicle. I guess there was the actual Cromwell tank, but it sucked. Sorry?
I like it. Good name.
The Cromwell tank.
No, just Cromwell as a name for like some sort of, like you said, I'm good.
In any case,
Ahriman closes his eyes. You almost sense it.
I sense several dozen large concentrations nearby, entire choirs, stretching their minds out in unison, pulling in the planet's wrath and hurling it at our forces.
point me to the biggest one.
He nods. Residue suggests the largest would have been this temple, but they either engaged us or fled. The rest of them have moved out to tall towers scattered around the city. A hand raises shakily up. I sense the most obvious in this direction.
He points.
The reading is strong, but the readings everywhere are strong. The ocean is becoming stormy around us.
Fucking wizard talk, man.
Well, on the ocean, you do not await a storm. You head into it, or you head around it. And I do not intend to head around it.
How much experience have you with the ocean under choppy conditions?
Far too much.
Ahriman nods, completely misunderstanding you.
Fucking Leviathans.
One of you being very literal, one of you being very metaphorical.
Then you will be well prepared. Come.
He turns to a nearby wall, and with a mighty blast of lightning from his hands, detonates it, exploding outwards in a shower of rock-reed shards.
Fucking Doombolt.
This way will be the most direct.
I think Doombolt is a chaos power.
It is a chaos power.
If I remember correctly, yeah.
That's got Doom in it.
Doombolt is pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, because the Imperium's never had fucking death imagery.
I don't know if they've had Doom stuff.
But Bolt of Change is better, but
Bolt of Change is the top tier bolt power in the game. Yes, Bolt of Change is better.
I know, I just fucking love that. What a cheeky little thing. Sounds of mini Wednesdays just pass through your mouth there.
The two of you
hop out of the building and begin heading towards the nearest concentration of witches. Outside, the storm is raging. You can see both wreckage and carcasses in the wind. The gale sweeping through the streets, throwing anything that weighs less than a relatively heavy amount straight into the air. Fortunately for the two of you, one of you is a Marine in Terminator armor even, I think, and the other is a Marine in power armor, and that still weighs an absolute fuck ton. The storm is forcing you back, well, slowing you down, but it is not throwing you into the sky. That said, it is assaulting you in other ways, as the weather witches around upset the Emperine. More than just air currents hurtle through the streets of the city. What is the strongest emotion you are currently experiencing, Coayah?
So Schadenfreude is not really an emotion, but
I guess.
Well, I'm still in my battle. I'm still in my battle frenzy, so spite's a good one.
Okay. I will take a willpower test, please, at a +0.
That is a pass. Of, well, 1 degree, because you can't have 0.
How many did you squeak it by?
3. I actually have 50 willpower.
You are surprisingly strong-willed.
Yeah. I started pumping it around the time of starting to play the game because I knew young Nicholas would pull some bullshit.
That is good.
I wasn't going to be taken prepared. I wasn't going to be taken unprepared.
You feel the emotions begin to well up in the chest. Your hearts hammer against the bony shield of your fused ribs. Your superhuman physiology pushes to its limits, even though, strictly speaking, right now it doesn't need to. Your collar rises. But with an effort of willpower, you find your center and throw it back down. This is a time for cold, clinical, focused rage. There will be time to indulge your lusts, your desire for skins, suppressed as it may be, your need to avenge the wrongs done to you, and your underlying insecurities about your lack of respect in the figures of authority in this system you found yourself entirely interwoven in. Later. For now, there is a parliament of witches not too far from here, and you intend to deliver them imperial justice. Ignoring the witch a mere 3 or 4 paces behind you, weaving his way through the storm, keeping the worst of the gales from howling too close to you, and fending off the lightning from the skies. In front of you stretches a gnarled crag of a building, a long, thin, bony tower, spiraling up and up and up, looking like it was grown from a single malformed shell. Lumpy, knobbly, and yet emitting a curious green smoke from microcosmic chimneys towards the very top. It smells like disappointment and hate, the emotions filling your nostrils, causing them to flare.
It smells like Mortarion.
Mortarion's not disappointed. He's more aggressively smug, if I'm honest. Behind you, Araman calls out through the storm. Keep your center, brother. These winds carry more than just force. You stride on silently, ignoring the chief librarian, focused on your singular goal. What do, Coayah?
Am I there yet?
It's more or less just in front of you. There's like a actually, looking at it, you can't see a set of doors anywhere, just a long, winding curve of shell.
I mean, there's presumably a door somewhere.
You circle around the tower rapidly. You can see no door.
Bastards.
Would you care for a more atmospheric entry, brother?
Don't mind that at all. Thank you.
Telekines to the front, calls Ahriman. 2 members of his squad rush forwards. And for a moment, you taste copper. And then you are hurled. Almost, but not quite, entirely vertically upwards, spiked into the air like a tossed caber. You're wearing Terminator armor, right?
No, I'm in Artificer armor.
Oh, you're an Artificer. Oh, yes, sorry, of course. Described you as Termy earlier, and I was not thinking.
I'm in my Artificer armor, and I'm the only one who remembered to pick up an iron halo.
Everyone else is so fucking committed to never coming out of Terminator armor that I forget.
I don't have any.
Yeah, but you also stay in your study most of the time.
Oh, no, sorry, I meant the character that I'm currently playing.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Kuzco does have some.
God damn it. Oh, no, they've reset all of the fucking... Oh, there's the reconnect button. Sorry, I was having difficulty with Roll20. Do I have an Ollie on cams? Yes, I do.
I'm here.
So I'm just looking at the things and being like, oh, there's no Ollie. That must mean I'm invisible.
You're not invisible to me now, right? And I, for one, am grateful for this.
It's you and me, Ollie. The regular cam boys.
I know. We're the cam boys. We should start charging.
We should, yeah, that... The phrasing was bad.
That was terrible.
We should stream this to OnlyFans, because there's going to be fans of this content, right?
No, there's not. So, your Artificer armor is spiked directly up, and then into the wall. The shell shatters under the weight, and you go stumbling through a cloud of fragmented, osseous material into a room filled with surprised humans, wearing strange outfits and with strange proportions, many of them disturbingly short but with elongated limbs, or the inverse, tall but with limbs too knobbled and stubby. What do?
An inability to fight back. All the better to kill you with, my dears.
You have 1 round of surprise.
Straight in.
Okie dokie. I will take a weapon skill test, please.
Cool. I presume I'm still in my battle frenzy.
You are indeed.
Huzzah!
If anything, getting spiked through a wall is probably quite good for refreshing a frenzy state.
The path. It's not a great path.
It's not a great path, is it?
There's only 3 degrees of success, which, I could do better.
You could.
Could get 100.
I could do worse. Yeah, this is the thing. I could do worse.
A little voice at the back of your mind whispers, "Kill them all. Kill them all.
I'll risk it for a biscuit.
Burn the witch."
Oh, that's a lot better.
Yeah.
That is 7 degrees of success. Thank you.
The voice cheers your success and lauds your ability as with a mighty roar you charge into the room, laying your paragon blade around you. The witches are immensely powerful. Their psychic might is enough to snap landers in half and blow craft out the sky.
Paragon blades. With an S.
Let me double check your skills and talents.
Because remember, I made 2.
I'm not saying you don't have 2. I'm saying you'd best have bought fucking ambidextrous. There it is.
I think all Marines start with ambidextrous.
We do, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of our basic ones.
Yeah.
Don't pay for it.
Okay, so you only have ambidextrous.
Which does give me a -10 to use both, but I haven't, because I'm in the battle rage, which gives me additional +10.
You also
cancels back out.
Are you using a melee weapon right now?
Yes.
Because you have unarmed master as well. That might only count though if you're being outnumbered. But
unarmed master does
unarmed
not
master
count
requires
if you are armed.
I am very armed.
Unarmed Master's the one that lets you punch harder.
Yeah.
With your fist.
I'm extremely armed. The most armed.
Unarmed Master is your fist counts as deadly natural weapon.
Sorry, I had a senior moment.
I was thinking, Alex, like, you know the rules better than this. It is the first word of the name. This is young Nicholas tier rule reading.
I know. Sorry, I'm nearly 30, and my memory's going, and it was never great in the first place.
You're nearly 30. How many months, Ewan?
I don't disclose my age publicly.
I'm minus on that.
I'm so sorry for your memory. I've already bought.
I think I'm 3 weeks off.
What of us? What of us?
You want to know something weird? We've been playing since we were all around 23, 24 together.
What have I done in my life? God
Am I the young boy?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh. I can't actually really remember how old I am these days. I think 27.
Yeah, I usually check Benji, like how old Benji is.
I thought you were far older than that, Creed.
3 years. The last 3 years, Creed, you've been 27.
Maybe.
I don't like.
I'll probably be 27 from now on.
I'm like.
It's stressful, right? It's stressful talking to him.
What were you saying, Carl?
So many things I wanted to say in such a short period that I couldn't get any of it out.
Anywho. So, where the fuck did we end off?
It was just like 7 degrees of success.
7
Vroom,
degrees,
vroom.
yeah, sorry, 7
Except
degrees of
Paragon
success.
blades are
As
not
you throw yourself into the room, Paragon blades are whirring, slicing through the surprised witches in an orgy of death and destruction. The voice at the back of your mind, screaming out its bloodlust, enjoying this sense of release, excelling, throwing itself into the frenzy. Some part of you knows that battle and death and ending these psychic fools is your true inner calling. For the first time in probably quite a while, at least by my reading of the character, you feel a sense of calm and peace. Yes, there's rage and hate and spite, but it's all in service to what feels like a greater whole right now. Like this is purity of thought, clarity of deed. Things surely couldn't get any better than this. Meanwhilst... Ooh, sorry?
No one said anything.
Oh, sorry, I thought Benji started to say something and I cut off. Meanwhilst, over at the other crew, you have just about decided to leave the arm on the standard, which Nazeem is now holding. What are we doing? I believe you were divided between the group that wanted to go west towards the large shell-like building in which you could hear the sounds of combat, or northeast towards where Nazeem claimed he'd seen Father spun off to.
I can't remember which group I was part of. I can't.
You wanted to go save the boys, I think.
Yeah, you wanted to go save the boys because you argued that Father could take care of himself.
Yes, that's it.
Throwing an additional spanner in the works. Is there anywhere nearby us that's clearly one of the sources of drop pod killing storms? Are people shooting obvious lightning from their hands on top of towers or anything? Or
I'm afraid not. It is more subtle ritual magic.
Okay.
Did I say magic? I meant ritual psychic activity. You would need some kind of trained psyker of your own in order to figure that out. And your psykers melted on the way down. One of them.
We don't have any in the Legion. Just none of them. It's really weird.
Yep.
Regardless, opposite to the group. Well, brothers, got a third option to our quest. Might also be a plan, see if we can prevent any more drop pod deaths. If there are any left to fall. Not that I can figure out where they're blasting up those storms from.
No, I agree, brother.
No.
Like a small scream by Benji there?
No, I just said no, because the dog started barking and the baby is in bed.
No! I mean, it can still be a scream, I suppose. This is a very quiet one. I mean, I say we go towards the shell buildings. Maybe there'll be a magician there. It sounds like if that's where the heavy fighting is, potentially that's where, not the magicians, the witches.
It does rob them a tad of their gravitas if you call them magicians, as they massacre your battle brothers.
I think I might just start doing that.
Pip, tally-ho, let's go get these Houdini chaps.
These magicians with their parlor tricks that are killing our brothers by the hundreds.
Yeah, for the record, everyone here other than Coscatl is probably going to look slightly aghast at that. Okay, sorry. So I would assume then that Nazeem and Coatlmox would look aghast at that level of levity.
I'm not saying it. Don't worry. Perhaps we may find some of these witches in the building in which we hear the fighting coming from. 2 birds with 1 stone. It's worth an investigation.
Indeed. If none of our brothers start walking in the next 5 seconds, I'm just going to charge towards the building.
I'm going towards the shell building as well, yeah.
So that's the
I'll start marching.
In which direction, Coscatl?
Towards building.
Towards building. Okay, well, they're all abandoning you, Nazeem. They're all abandoning your father.
Oh, I know that father can deal with themselves.
That's what
As much as it pains me,
you're abandoning father too.
I am trusting father to deal with everything himself.
The little shard of your soul lodged in the outer recesses of his tugs and cries and screams with every step you take away from it.
I'd like to keep a bead on it.
You can't switch it off. It is on for the rest of the scene.
Okay,
this is not a conscious tracking pod situation. This is a fundamental aspect of your being that has become stuck in another much larger being. Your soul was lightly split in 2. That is literally the plan Voldemort had.
I am immortal!
It is not fun for you. Think of it as like if a stubbed toe was radar and significantly worse. That is what you have. So keep a bead on it. You can't suppress it.
It kind of sounds like Nick's soul had a very rough night with the soul of the Primarch.
It's like I've got a bear trap on my foot and I can't get it off.
Nick's soul is like, God, I was split in half.
You suppress it some of the time, but when you actively call it up,
it's there.
Exactly. A tiny shard of your being is gone. And you can hear it scream.
Okay, well, this is going to be fun. Well, at least I know if he goes anywhere or if he doesn't move. If he hasn't moved in, like, the next hour, then I'm going to get a little bit worried.
You don't get distance, you only get direction.
Yes, exactly, if the direction hasn't changed in the next hour.
Well, we'll see. Maybe he's lying there under a ton of wreckage just waiting for his loyal sons to come help him.
Yeah. If he doesn't move, then I have to come back.
If there's much of a Primarch to come back to. After all, you more than most know that they are distressingly, alarmingly, and utterly mortal.
It's distressing. It took like 50 people just to even like lightly take the skin off one hand of our Primarch. It took a very angry Nick to gut the other one. I don't know, I'm just saying.
Angry Nick with many psychic powers going off. To the point that I almost outed myself.
Revealed yourself as a psychic. So, the group, with some reluctant members, heads off towards the building to the west, trekking through the storm and the gale above you. You can see in the skies overhead more craft. These appear to be high-altitude bombers. I will take a scrutiny over perception test from someone, please.
I'll take it, I suppose. I have it trained. Well, I have mid perception. Is this a sight test?
It is indeed. Your armor bonus counts.
So I get plus 10 just generally anyway. I don't know if my helmet gives me another plus 10.
It does indeed. Cool,
so that's plus 20 then, so 70 or under. Sorry, one sec. Where am I? Good. Oh wow, okay. I'm gonna spend a fate point. Is this worth spending a fate point on? To be honest. Fuck it, I'll do it. I got a full compliment. Yeah, I make it. 2 degrees of success.
You have to squint a little bit, even through your helmet, the eyes narrowing as they hard focus. But you can clearly just about make out
that those craft are not in the riotous clash of sea-green blues that mark out the quarrellers, nor the distinct reds of the Thousand Suns. Those craft are an off, almost bone white. The Death Guard, and they are also getting hit by the tornadoes, so this is not going necessarily super well for them, are attempting to bomb the city. And
let's hope our IFF tags are working well enough that the bombers know to avoid us.
For
they don't really have that option.
Stratospheric strategic bombing during the middle of a multiple tornado weather event. Because
I'm not saying it's going to work out well.
They wouldn't be taking it into account under the best of circumstances. They're certainly not taking it into account now.
Well, I'm going to have very strong words, Mortera, and I'm going to kick him in the kid again. You know the best child to hurt? Someone's inner child.
So, add to the tornadoes the high-grade explosives now getting whicked around, as the city takes a rather thorough beating, both from using its own powers on itself at incredibly close range, and from the bombs starting to get hurled into it. I will take an agility test at +20 from everyone, please.
Yeah, I made that. Forgery's success.
It's dodging.
Yeah,
it is not a dodge roll, it is an agility roll.
Oh, but all agility rolls... I think agility rolls...
Yeah, given this is the Death Guard, are they also not using toxin or rad weaponry?
So, all agility rolls are at a -20 in semi armor. It doesn't matter if it's dodge, it's just agility rolls, so...
No, they're focused on high explosive, Benji, because both of those would be more heavily disrupted by the weather.
So, Ewan's +20 just got cancelled out there, just so you guys know.
Okay, did anyone fail?
Yeah.
Survived.
I failed spectacularly with the Termi thing. You say there was a buff besides the Termi negative, or was it just Termi negative?
Sorry, carry on.
Sorry, so Ewan said +20, but the Termi negative is a -20, so I think it just works out to +0.
Okay, just one's very failure for me as well.
Yeah. Good off for me.
Many success.
Yeah.
Many.
Cole's cattle dodging and weaving in his... Well, Cole's cattle's in his fucking power armor anyway, so he was just at a net +20. Cole's cattle doing fine, rushing out ahead of the group as high explosive bombs graded to do significant damage to capital ships start to go off around you. He's able to duck, dodge, and weave, throwing himself, running through the streets. It's not strictly speaking dodgy, it's more like...
But my one be... I want my one to be flavoured as I'm using my superior reactions to change the deflection angles of my force field as bombs come rushing towards me, bouncing them off my shoulders and shit.
I don't feel like force fields are directional in that way.
Ion shields are directional in that way, or force fields are all around you.
Yeah.
Never mind them. It's alright, I'm happy just to make it look like I'm somewhat tanking them whilst actually avoiding the worst of the damage.
Void shields might be, to be fair, actually, but I'm not totally sure on that.
I think void shields are, that's only because they only need to protect from one direction, so you can make them stronger in one direction. But
they definitely come in bubbles by default, but I feel like you can power avoid. Anywho, sorry, I guess I will call pace on myself. Sorry, Ollie, do you have a different way you want to flavour it in that case?
In which case, then, I'm looking like I'm tanking the explosions that are happening near me, but really I just know how to move in such a way that I can avoid the worst of the damage. Let it roll. I'm trying to get rule of cool here.
I think you're just in better shape than the other two.
Also, yeah.
And as a result, you are you're in better shape, and you deploy into battlefield conditions more readily. Coatlmox does deploy into battlefield conditions, but he almost always gets maimed immediately. And Nazeem has been not avoiding battle, but he doesn't engage in it too commonly. By comparison, you've generally led from the front historically. Even when you've been masterminding strategic stuff, you're usually at worst just behind the lines. Hell, whole reason you're here, in fact. So, for Maccy, it sounds like then, this is not your first time, or indeed your 100th time, dodging high-grade ordnance, though this is admittedly extremely high-grade. It is also not your first time weaving through a city under fire. You know the importance of momentum. You know the importance of using cover on the fly, not by stopping to hunker down, but by just putting things between you and likely explosions. Or indeed, with such explosions, knowing when not to take cover, when cover is clearly going to get blown up by something, and when the best thing you can do is just be at a distance, hope that the energy drops off, and that your shield flares and takes the worst of it, as your Termi armor takes a battering. But you pull through. The machine spirit within, screaming and yelling, exulting to the highest
my machine spirit and my Termi armor is also melancholic. So
that's what I mean. It thinks it's going to die. You are getting high-grade ordnance right now. It is having the time of its not quite alive. Melancholic, your machine spirit is downright suicidal, if I recall correctly.
It's melancholic machine spirit plus 10 to getting into suicidal situations and minus 10 to getting out of suicidal situations.
Exactly. Really, we should have given you a plus 10.
Yeah, really. Something.
And the other two. What were our doffs for Coatlmox and Nazeem?
1.
And Nazeem? Was that 2, yeah, Nicholas?
Yes, 2 off.
Okay. Let me go find the fucking bomb damage rules. You know what? What's a plasma bomb's I'm just going to look at the plasma cannon's penetration and then increase it. To 40k RPG tools. Okay, so how do we feel about 4d10 plus 20 pen 20?
Like they're all going to die.
Yes.
Although you all have force fields, so you might be alright.
Roll your force fields, the two of you who are affected and have them.
Oh, I don't have a flight.
Oh shit, you don't. Oh no! Cread! Wait. Brain think.
Cread, you are a high-ranking Mechanicus adept. You almost certainly have a refractor field.
I doubt that works on a 77.
Yeah.
Fate!
Oh.
I fate that.
Are you sure you want to?
Yes!
I'll let you absorb Creed's death.
Nazeem
Really?
the Burned.
Will you?
There probably won't be much left of the standard afterwards, but...
No, that's
Standard
down.
cannot be lost.
If it keeps Creed alive, I'll keep the 100.
Oh, this
If Creed would die otherwise.
bombs drop feels pretty bad now.
Can the standard survive with just another arm stuck to the thing?
So,
Is Creed going to die if I don't take it?
well, we haven't rolled the damage yet, but it seems likely.
With pen 20, probably, depending on the D10.
I mean, you have
Still
24.
roll 1. I have 28.
I have... Wait, what? We have what? You have 24. Oh, wait, you have 24. How much damage is it?
I have 28.
Why do you have 28? Is that your machine spirit? Oh,
Yeah.
you get the machine plus 4, don't you?
Okay, how much? What's the damage being rolled?
4d10 plus 20 pen 20.
Oh, yeah, the
Plus 20.
as
Oh,
well,
fuck.
yeah.
Okay, that's probably going to kill you.
Wait, did you roll? Is that your shield rating there, Creed, that you rolled?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you actually had to get over the shield rating, not under. I thought
No,
the PR
well, we've
was
always
over.
been under.
No, I
Yeah,
swear it's
I'd
the
always
only
go
rule
for
of the game where it's like you have to roll over it than under it.
Rules as written, it is. We have always done it the other way because it's just easier.
It might be 2nd edition versus Deathwatch. Let me double check.
Because there's an upper and a lower band on them as well.
Yeah, it's if you roll too low, then it just breaks.
It overloads the shield rating, yes.
Yeah.
You've got to get between the two values. However, we're always assuming that we have best quality because we're Space Marines.
Yeah, which means it's 1.
Damn it. Sorry, the things are being very slow. Hang about. Well, at least if Creed dies, you can blame the Deathwatch. Forever.
Shield. The fuck is the shield special quality?
Second gear.
It's force field. No, it's protection. It's protection, I think. Protection rating.
Protection rating... No, it doesn't seem to be. Is this a White Wolf game? Why is everything terrible? Force fields, 166.
Huh.
Honestly, even if it is like you got to roll over it, should we just do it as under it? It just speeds up the game so much.
I'd always prefer to go under if it's an option, regardless.
No, it is under. If the result is less than or equal to the field's protection rating, the attack is nullified and has no effect on the protected character. It's worth discussing that anyway, because otherwise, if we did roll under and it was roll over, that would mean that the worse your shield is with the default values, the better chance you have of rolling over it. Rolling a save. So we would need to rebalance things if that was the case.
It's fine. Let's keep. I guess just keep it as is then.
Yeah, so it's unders then.
Yeah, that's fine.
And Cread will die. Anyway, I've got a stupid amount of fate. Fuck it. I'll take that. I'll keep the 100 if it saves Cread.
Okay. So
for the record, pick a path, fail in agility, and die feels bad, man.
What was that?
Saying for the record, pick a path, roll agility, or die feels bad, man.
Yeah. I mean, you're in the middle of an orbital bombardment. I don't think there's.
It's not a spaceship orbital bombardment, to be fair. It is a stratospheric bombardment, which I guess is still technically orbital.
I like suborbital.
Yeah, you know what? Noted. You know what? He's not wrong. That was a bit of an arbitrary throw.
You got hit by an orbital bombardment because you're out of the.
There was no build up. It was just immediate roll or die.
Exactly. So I didn't give you a build up.
I would say it's fine. You just got hit by the wash of it, then, right? You got hit by the wash of a bomb.
You know what? I think that's fair. So here's what we're going to do then. Rather than charge a fate, because I think the check on maybe that was a bit much with very little build up. Is appreciated and I think valid, but also the call of but this is not entirely unforecasted with the Death Guard in near orbit and shenanigans. Wash feels like a good separator. So, Coatlmox and Nazeem. The two of you are lagging ever so slightly behind when the air currents wick a bomb in your direction. You're not able to catch up to Maccy and cause cattle in time. The bomb is being spiked towards the ground between you, and the two of you just barely have enough time to throw yourselves into a nearby crater before a much, much, much larger one is carved out, and a wall of force spikes out of the ground. The gully between the two of you, between the two pairs of you, forming a gigantic wall of air that you see hurl an auto carriage into the air, never mind either of you two. Consider the party split. And just for the sake of posterity, I wonder what the damage would have been.
That really instant death.
That would have been instant death.
Except, to be fair, is that toughness can't be negated by...
Yeah, toughness doesn't get negated by pen,
So it would have been... what?
Doesn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah.
Toughness
so it would be... You'd have a scope of 8 regardless. And its pen was 20, did you say?
Pen 20, yeah.
Yeah, so you'd be down to 8 plus 4, so you'd have a soak of 12. But, still...
He has 20, it's just all...
You wouldn't have a soak of 12, you'd have a net damage of 12.
No, you have a net soak of 12. Because you have your 8 toughness. Sorry, not 8 toughness. Sorry, I was going with 8 toughness there. Say 5 toughness then. And then you'd have your extra 4 from the...
I'd take about 35 damage all in all.
So again?
I'd take about 35 damage overall.
Yeah. I think I would take about
21.
Maybe a bit more.
Well, at least it's not...
Wouldn't you also get your unnatural toughness bonus as an additional soak?
Yeah, I guess actually you would do,
I don't think they do provide additional soak like that, do they?
So I'd actually think you do get plus 10 to toughness, though. You have unnatural toughness, so you can only get unnatural toughness when you pass a test. I think, right? You can't use... I don't know if you
I think
can
it has separate rules for separate situations.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Use unnatural.
Basically, doesn't matter. Don't get hit by that.
Yeah, basically the two groups are functionally separated. So Coatlmox and Nazeem can't continue onwards towards the shell building. Up in front of them is a massive ravine through which the wind is howling and visibly hurling things into the air. A ravine that is growing as it strikes a weak point in the city, a fault line.
I turn around then at the massive explosion that's happened behind me that I so skillfully dodged. Brothers, we appear separated. You go and find Father. We shall continue onwards and meet up with you later then, I suppose. It seems the fates have decided our paths. Good hunting.
You too, brother. As tradition goes, turn off my comlink.
It's after all tradition.
A single tear falls down Macuiltotec's face. He's not sure if it's in anger or in happiness. Maybe both.
I'm not gonna complain.
Nazeem, no though.
Coatlmox and Maccy. It doesn't take too much after this before you reach the giant shell building. You encounter a few squads of local defenders along the way, but they are easily butchered. None of them contain the local witches. The building, by the time you get to it, seems to be mostly out of fight. There's certainly still resistors within, but you find no more than a single marine corpse, and no resisting marine elements. What to do?
There's no corpses here at all apart from that one?
Yep. Well, so no marine corpses.
Yeah, no marine corpses. Did it sound like there was multiple sources of bolter fire?
Yes, definitely.
So definitely more than one marine there. Is there anywhere the other 4 marines could have gone? That we would have...
Where are you getting 4 marines from?
Oh, sorry, not 4 marines, sorry. An arbitrary number of marines.
Yeah, I mean, you're in a large urban area. They could have gone to many places.
In which case, I guess I'll just do a Vox shout. Try and do a broadcast. Like, brothers, we came to help but found nothing. Where are you?
Yeah, I'll take a tech use test.
Seeing as tech use, I think, is a trained skill, could that not just be like a comms? Because it's just a comms.
Intelligence is fine.
I mean, the problem is I'm untrained in tech use.
Yeah, I'll let you roll flat intelligence.
Oh, okay. It's just that. Okay, I'm going to say, though, Marines should just know how to use combis and broadcast without...
You can use combi and broadcast, that is fine. The issue is, 1, you do not necessarily broadcast on the same channels as the Thousand Suns with different legions and would have different encryptions. And 2, weird psychic-y bullshit is interfering. So
I mean, I wasn't talking about...
You'll be broadcasting, it's whether it'll hit anything.
Okay, fine. Okay. So 35...
It's still Vox, it still goes out over the airwaves, and the airwaves are currently heavy with warp energy.
Apparently so. I hit a 99, so I'm not going to reroll that.
All you hear in reply are distant chuckles, the laughter of frightened children, and what sounds like a gurgling, wet voice, howling a name that's almost familiar to you. Ghosts and Vox static, surely.
Brother, how did children get the combis? I'm going to have to talk to the tech priest about this. This is most unusual.
Coatlmox staring at you blankly.
Well, unfortunately, it looks like we're going to have to start pressing on to find Father as well. Seeing as there's no Marines left to find. Did you say it was a Thousand Suns Marine who was in the building, in the shell building?
You didn't really see, honestly.
I'm going to check out...
I think your hope would be that it wasn't a Thousand Suns Marine, that some of your Legion had survived, but so far the only live Legionnaires you've seen down here have been from the Quarrelers.
Okay, I mean, I'm going to check out the corpse then of the Space Marine, just quickly.
Oh, sorry, that corpse. That corpse is a Thousand Sun, yes.
It is a Thousand Suns, okay.
Sorry, I misunderstood what you were saying there.
That's right. Well, if there's no other corpses around, and they were they fighting inside the building?
Yeah, the building has heavy signs of some kind of energy weapon and a fair amount of bolter fire. Not to mention, Benji, your Paragon Blades, those are power swords, right?
Yeah, best quality, basically.
Yeah, not to mention
finest.
the signature marks of what you recognise as your Legion's Paragon Blades.
Can I use the Loudhailer on my helmet? I think I have one, right?
I don't know that you have one, but I think it's fair to assume that you would.
Yeah, I'm just going to shout into the building saying, brothers, anyone in here alive? If not, we shall move on. I realise it's a bit of a moot statement, but...
At that, perhaps a dozen of the locals come thundering towards you.
Well, I bring around the somewhat version of the Reaper autocannon I have. And if they start attacking...
Yeah. So what do you mean if they start attacking?
I mean, they could just be fighting civilians, but I'm guessing not.
They do have guns.
Okay. Actually,
I meant more like if they start attacking as you are currently in the process of attacking their city.
I mean, yeah, but, sticks and stones and semantics and so on and other words.
No, I mean, far be it from me to lecture you for trying to not kill civilians.
Having not had any of this in verbal communication, and it looks like they're charging, I'm just going to open fire.
I was actually going to wait until they ran out of ammo from their first round and see that it hadn't affected us, then mow them down, but we can do that as well.
Oh, that sounds much better, actually. I'm going to take a brief look after raising my weapon and check to see if Mackie's firing.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. You'll see that I haven't fired yet.
That type of micro-hesitation is super visible to the Legion Master, not that I'm sure you suspect that. And Mackie, from your point of view, it's not unequivalent to someone at school, looking over and going, what are you doing over there? Copying your work in a very, this is irritating. Could you not just do this yourself? It's not that hard type of a way. As Coscatl does his best to imitate everything his Legion Master does.
Now, I do realise that there is a dead Space Marine there wearing power armour, but I'm also wearing Terminator armour, so maybe whatever took down that Space Marine won't take down me. Who knows?
Sorry, I've got a quick question that isn't necessarily related. Do we have an equivalent of shadowing in this?
I think it's silent move, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it'd be silent move.
Do you mean mirroring my moves?
Yeah, I was hoping to kind of transfer the idea of the sentiment to...
So there is... I'm pretty sure there is an action a combat action you can use to hold. You've got the obvious one, hold till that person does a thing. I think you could probably just use that.
Just let you roll scrutiny over ballistic skill, if I'm honest.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to wait for that the attackers to. I say the defenders technically to finish their attack.
I'll tell you what. We'll call it scrutiny over ballistic skill, but it's an opposed roll with Ollie, and you need to beat him in order to mirror him.
Okay, so my ballistic skill is 65, and you say it's standard perception. Oh, the scrutiny, sorry.
Well, sorry, it's a straight ballistic skill for you, and plus your weapon bonus, which is going to be at least good quality, so call it a +10.
Yes,
and then a scrutiny over ballistic skill for Carl.
I got one DOF there. So you have to just get 1 degree of success when you beat me, so you copy me.
Right, so when I first made this, you said I got an option of buffing 2 skills. I went with ballistic skill and agility. I can't remember if NPCs roll at a base 40 or a 30.
Space Marines roll.
Yeah, I think we've been rolling them at 40.
Yeah.
That's a pass!
Your general Legion, we generally...
Oh, wait, no, it was rolling off perception, wasn't I? So, never mind, that's still...
No, you're rolling scrutiny over ballistic skill.
Ah, sorry, right.
Because you're, fraction of a second lagged copying him, but still trying to use your gun.
You would also get your sight bonus, I presume, so that would be a +20 then, in total?
No, we're not giving sight bonuses on shots like that, I think. I'm not opposed to giving the sight bonus. I don't want to establish that all gun rolls get the sight bonus.
Yeah, that's fair.
If you were spotting, then maybe.
Yeah, sure, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Or like a really specific called shot, I could see. Like if you had a sniper rifle and you're pulling off one skill shot that's not like every shot in battle. Different kettle of fish. So, Maccy pulls back for a beat, and Coscatl, who had gone to slaughter the upcoming meager defenders, waits a hair's breadth, sees that his Legion Master is doing nothing, and also hangs back. A volley of last shot ping harmlessly off your armor, flaring the force shield. I keep saying force shield. Flaring the force field of your Legion Master a couple of times to 0 effect.
Can I roll a fear test on them? Just like make them all feel incredible amounts of fear that I did literally nothing?
Sure, roll me an Intimidator plus 20. Yeah, fuck it. I'm not going to say that they get proofed because they've been through a lot of other harrowing circumstances. If anything, it make it worse. Intimidate at a plus 20.
Oh, I have that trained, but not at basic. I can't remember. Does it give me a plus 10? I always forget what the difference between trained and basic is.
If it is trained, not basic, that's the second tick, right?
Yes.
Then that is a plus 10.
I think trained still just flat in the system, isn't it?
Is it? I thought
That's
basic was plus 0.
I thought they were both, because it just says trained, then plus 10%,
Yeah.
then plus 20%.
We need to check out.
I think that's the sheets not being updated from various other Dark Heresy things where it's minus, plus 0, plus, plus. You can roll over the highest of strength or ballistic skill, Ollie. Considering.
Oh, yeah, so plus 20 to that. So 85 or under. Yeah, I made that.
Yeah. You take a single step forwards, followed a half a heartbeat later by Coscatl to your slight left, also taking a single step forwards in not quite perfect unison. The squad breaks. The squad runs. All around you, the city stretches on. Bombs falling. You can hear bolter shots, screams and shouts, and the whirring of chainsaws from perhaps half a dozen different directions.
Let's head towards Father, where Nazeem pointed out he was last.
Nazeem just said towards the northeast, I'm afraid.
We should start heading towards the northeast look for the largest trail of destruction.
Fair. Meanwhile, Nazeem and Coatlmox. What are we doing? You've just been cut off.
We've been told to go find Father as well, correct?
Yes. Just about heard it over the howling. Some kind of screeching on the Vox, and you can't really make out much beyond the din externally. Coatlmox has just turned his combeat off entirely.
Brother, as we're separated, shall we go find Father then?
Well, alright. If we see anyone on the way, I'm cutting them down.
Oh, of course. No, I think it was this way, going directly at Father.
I'll just shrug and follow.
Holding the Legion standard high in the howling gale, you march off towards where your soul screams your father is located. The fighting along the way is intermittent but consistent. Small squads and individual witches. Most of them wielding either las weaponry or psychic powers, trying to dash pieces of rubble against you, impale you with colossal spikes shorn from the superstructure of surrounding buildings, or simply take you down with ambushes and volleys of las fire. It's not the hardest fight you've had, but it's certainly not the easiest, and more than a few of these could have gone either way. But the two of you fight fairly well, and you're able to work your way through the ruins that the city is rapidly becoming without further incident, until you come to a large building which smoulders in the gale. It's sort of long oblong, crowned in spikes, and with a huge, not quite human, distorted triangular skull arranged over the entrance. A macabre display of the intent of those within, perhaps. The building's material mostly looks like rockreat rather than the strange, natural, shell-like substance many of the others have used, with a slight crystalline tint, a dull blue-green glaze. Inside,
You can hear shouts and cries. What to do?
What was this, sorry? Came across compounds.
Yeah, large building, shouts and cries.
Can I see an entrance?
Yeah, you're more or less in front of it. Has a big old, not quite human-looking skull over the top.
Is that typical yet? I assume so.
Not really. You've mostly seen buildings that look like they've been grown out of a sort of living shell. This is the first one that looks like it's artificially constructed.
I just meant the human skull motif. Is that already an Imperium thing as well?
The Imperium has a decent amount of human skulls, though not, I think, as many as it will eventually have. Certainly Remembrances in the novel seem to have more stringent standards for what they do and don't consider macabre. This is not quite a human skull either.
Okay.
Looks a little bit too long, thin, and triangular for that.
I'll start charging through the doors. Can I reach it with my axe as I run through and just bash it?
Termi armor's pretty tall. Omnisire axe is pretty long. Sure. I'll take a strength check.
Oh, I ain't got the rolls today. I've got lots of bonuses. Was it from Termi? Was it just 20?
I think it's plus 20. Might be plus 30, actually.
I've written it down like a good boy.
Enhanced strength. Yeah, it's plus 30.
30, yeah. Past 1 degree. Oh, plus 2 or times 2.
Fair. Yeah, so, in that it's times in Deathwatch. So, in that case, you rush through as quickly as you can in your bulky Terminator armor. Almost missing your servo harness. And smash the skull into dull splinters. Nothing in particular seems to happen just yet. Nazeem seems like he's following along behind you.
I am indeed.
The interior is filled with a series of long, low benches, all pointing towards a single lectern at one side of the colossal oblong.
Sorry, just for a second, this is reminding me of the Fulgrim.
I don't know.
You say, and there are 2 snakes in the middle.
Well, you certainly can't see where any of the shouts or cries are coming from just yet. There's no one in here. What do?
I'll look around a bit, start turning stuff over, a bit frustrated, flipping tables, kicking things.
You kick several of the benches over. Nazeem?
You know how when you get close to something and you move, like, the angle changes much faster? Am I getting that feeling that I may have closed in on him and he's quite close, or...?
Alarmingly, your soul has quietened down. You don't feel you can sense much of him at all. Though walking into this room, into this colossal building, almost feels like your vision has been set to sort of like a fisheye lens, but far too close. The angles peel sharply around you, the sounds keening into your ears. The blood in your veins throbs and thrubs.
Okay. How large is this building, roughly? Is it like a
You have no way of telling. It looks pretty big from the outside, and now you're inside, it feels gargantuan. A single colossal man-made cavern stretching up into the infinite sky.
Okay. That's not very far. Okay then. I guess it goes up tall then.
What would you say your biggest fear is, Nazeem?
Being found out.
Being discarded by the Legion, not being of any use, being told we don't want you. Yes, not
Coatlmox. What is your biggest fear?
Dying without recognition or honours. Without a legacy.
A voice echoes through the building. Ollie, would you like a speaking role again?
No, it's fine. You go for it, man. No, I mean, unless you really want me to, but it's fine.
Okay,
I won't lie. I've been a little distracted, so I'm not entirely sure what I'd be speaking about. To give some clarification, I would like one, but I'm not entirely sure what I'd be speaking about.
Okay, you know what? I will give you stage directions.
Okay. What sort of voice am I doing here, by the way? This is a booming voice? Is this like a...
It is a booming voice.
Booming? What? Two of you disgust me.
Where is father?
Failures in my legion. Failures to my father.
The voice all at once seems to boom from all around you and yet echo from just behind your ears, within your helmets themselves. The doorway behind you has long since disappeared, melded into the almost crystalline rock-reed wall.
For the record, I would be in my Blackstone cowl and my arms.
If I could smite you down, I would. The only thing holding me back is some level of respect for those you held in your office before you, whose names you dishonor.
The voice continues to whisper, worming its way most especially into your skull, Nazeem, inching deep into your psyche, penetrating your emotional safeguards, settling like a snake coiled around the base of your skull.
You say there's some sort of chasm in front of us? Or is it just like infinite hall deal?
Infinite hall, more like.
Does it sound like father?
It sounds like your Legion Master, like Macuiltotec.
I'm going to hold my axe up high and just start charging into the infinite, screaming.
Who
are you? Where is father?
I'm gonna charge after him, yelling, "Father, we're here for you, father!" And I'd like to cast Battle Sight.
I would like to say to both of them, I suppose. Well, whatever demon version he is. He is not your father. You are not worthy. You are not worthy.
Yes, Battle Sight. But I will actually cast it, because it seems... if I cast it, I only get 50 meters. So, it's large, but not huge.
Page?
It is Honor the Chapter, page 33 in the PDF.
I see. Honor the chapter, eh? As the voice of Macuiltotec continues to speak in your ears, a dull, not quite distant throb for Coatlmox as his cowl begins to heat up against his skin, and an insistent, pressing hiss for Nazeem. Sorry, what page do you say, Nicholas? I've got another chapter open now.
33 PDF.
The
33.
Physical page.
Of course it's Blood Ravens. Oh dear.
It's not a sustain, it's just a once done.
What's the power called?
Battle Sight.
Battle Sight. You mean Battle Knowledge?
Sight.
Oh no, Battle Sight. Oh, sorry. Right, yeah, I was thinking Battle Knowledge. This seems not good. Or at least not good for this situation.
It's like a single radar ping. Boom! On enemies.
Well, it's got two modes, just checking.
Yeah, it's first mode. Second mode is the stupid objective thing for...
the one that you were like, this is a psychic power for Oath of Moment.
I was like, can I use the second one? No? Okay, it's fine. I really want to put it for first reason anyway, so it's fine.
I could use the second one here. It's just not an Oath of Moment.
Yeah.
I'm calm. Me reading this going, oh my. They really shouldn't have retconned the Blood Ravens being Thousand Suns, because they absolutely are.
Even if they say it's not clear, they just 100% are Thousand Suns.
Everyone knows it.
Black Ravens were first founding.
No, by definition, they're not first founding. They appear in the lore, they appear in like M35, M36, but with all records obliterated. And then they really heavily breadcrumbed that a Thousand Sun person was the founder of the Blood Ravens in the Horus Heresy series. But then the guy in charge of Black Library for a bit was massively anti-loyalist elements in the loyalist traitor elements, and retconned most of the possible loyalist elements ever, including completely torpedoing the character who was massively set up to be the obvious founder of the Blood Ravens. In a way that cannot be undone, which is a real shame. And he wound up getting, just being one of the Grey Knight founders. Woo!
Get wrecked.
It actually turned out not that bad, but it went from this was fun to not that bad. And yeah.
Yeah, I get you.
Bit sad. Okay, Nicholas. Okay. Cool.
Right in 5.
Well, you can't give it Star Rating 5, actually. Oh, no, used in this way, Battle Sight does not require focus power. Sorry, so Mode 1, you still declare focus power.
Yes.
Cool.
I wish I didn't have to. Yeah, sure, okay, just bang, done.
There will be some hidden modifiers involved here. Yeah, declare Psi Rating and cast.
Okay. 5. And I've got my thing in die. So that's 15. Let's try something else, but I will. So we'll see where we go. Oh, that is 6 degrees of success.
See?
So that gives you reveals the position of all enemies within range that have hostile intentions toward the Librarian.
50 meters.
You register enemies in all directions. The structure itself appears to be an enemy.
Ah. This rings bells. This takes me back to where I found the goop.
No one that I couldn't say to you was, it feels like there's room in here for a friend anyway.
I'd like to,
gaze into the Emperine, and the Emperine gazes back at you. Its ruse thoroughly disrupted. The details of the place begin to melt away around you. Coatlmox, you are very much able to see this. The pews collapse into the floor. The rockcrete pulls back, and you appear to be inside the colossal stomach of some leviathan beast, and rushing towards you is a massive oncoming wall of acid.
Brother, I suggest we make a quick exit this way. Just turn 90 degrees, and I'm just going to,
it continues to stretch into infinity.
Oh. So, wait, infinity left and right, acid in front of us.
How's behind us looking?
Yeah, how's behind us?
Infinity.
There's not acid coming from that infinity, right?
Nope.
Let's run away from the acid.
I'll run away from the acid and just start clawing the floor, walls, whatever's nearby with my axe.
I was going to say, on the running away front, you are both wearing Terminator armor.
Yeah, it's not going to be fast.
You can't actually even run. You can at best light jog, and technically not even that.
Is my Psyniscience going to be any help here?
Depends what you're using it for.
This is the thing. It's like I'm trying to it's like normally where beasties are, and it's for it's like a sniffer dog stuff for psychic stuff shit, right? Can I sniff out an exit, please? This seems, if it's infinite, it's like this doesn't seem quite right. Can I use my Psyniscience to track down a fucking exit?
What types of psychic powers do you have?
I have
telepathy, biomancy, divination.
It's kind of jump. I've got telepathy.
Give me a rough category. Do you have more telepathy? Basically, what type of psych are you? I'm trying to gauge here what your Psyniscience might be best tuned to.
Okay.
As behind you, Nazeem is punching it. Sorry, Nazeem. Coatlmox is punching into the floor with his chain fist. What are you? Oh, Omnissiah as he goes.
It's probably more telepathy focused. I've got like reading, augury, battle sight, long range telepathy, possibility shield. So like it seems more like sensory kind of reading, more telepathy. Based on what it said. Inspiring word as well.
Roll me telepathy, please.
That's just a straight willpower, is it?
Declare psi rating and cast for your telepathy power.
Question: Can I pull on the total recall, brain eating stuff for psychic rating buff on skills only?
I don't think you should be able to do that for casting psychic powers, right?
I'm not casting. I was assuming this was like a unique thing, so that's why. Oh, I see. You want to? I see. Because I asked to do Sonesians. I see. Sorry, my apologies. Gotcha.
Yeah, so this is me working with a little bit of leeway as to what you were trying to do and thinking like, okay, what is a good reflexive action?
Okay, and the psi rating. Am I doing psi rating thing with this because
you are effectively just rolling your telepathy power, so declare psi rating and cast.
Okay, so I've forgotten how to do this lower. If I do it low, I get bonuses. I don't know. We'll go. I can't remember right now.
You get bonuses, but the effect is commensurately reduced, and a fettered roll is massively reduced, but also much safer, but also massively reduced.
Okay, cool. So this is that's right. Psyniscience? Oh, no, this is a telepathy.
This is your telepathy power.
So I can use my psi focus.
Yep.
15. So we'll go...
actually, I'm going to say this is... wait, what is your psi focus again?
Fuck me. I've got best quality... What's it? Best quality plus 15. What is it specifically?
Because basically, if you have it to hand, sure, but this is instinctual. You're not getting a thing out, so...
I did just cast one, so I just should have it out. I can't remember exactly what it is, because I've just looked psi focus right now. Good quality.
If you don't know what your psi focus is, I'm not super comfortable suggesting that you can get out in a battle situation.
I've completely forgotten what it is.
It should be noted down what your psi focus is.
It's
Didn't you lose your psi focus though? So I
don't want it. It's best quality. I gained it off of something. It's definitely some sort of amulet or something. It's around my neck. I know that much at least. So I don't know if that's good enough or if it's something else.
I'm going to say I feel like you need to figure out what the hell your psi focus is supposed to be for this to be invoked in this situation. Otherwise, this feels a little bit like the planet backstory thing. You're scimitaaring anyway, Nicholas. Give me declare psi rating and cast, man.
Rating 4 then. Fate. Oh, cool. So that's 3 successos.
3 successos down from a not great fail as you reflexively seek some exit as you and Coatlmox both begin jogging backwards away from the oncoming rush of acid. Some way to escape, some way to leave, some way to be safe is the wrong word, but to not get melted. Your mind stretches out into the ether, calling for help. And something nearby hears you. There is an almighty thunder crack, like a peal of immense psychic lightning cleaving through the outer hide of the beast that has swallowed you. And suddenly the infinite sky splits asunder, a single long jagged tear like torn light, revealing a distinctly finite, if choppy, set of heavens. The oncoming wall of acid rushes towards you, but the thunderstrike likewise parts it, and it washes to either side. In the distance, as infinity shrinks, congealing into a decidedly more comprehensible, if still Leviathan-sized, fleshy building. You see a gigantic figure. Your father, chainsword in hand, has cleft his way into the beast. What do?
Let's get the fuck out of the beast. Father, thank you!
He punches both hands towards the sky.
Anything for my favoured sons.
A single armoured boot kicks at the gut-strewn floor of the monstrosity.
This thing is barely a whelp. I feel blood rushing through my veins, hatred soaring through my heart. Monsters.
He
Cern
spits.
face.
Yes, Father.
This is when
Clearly
all of
you've
our
certainly brought up some great strength to slay this beast.
And with a mighty
Stay-
roar,
It feels
Stay
like
calm.
home.
That did make sense. Okay, yes.
The moment when all of our eyeglasses went from this way to this way.
the improvised hand axe he's holding in one hand begins to gently flake under the impact of being used in this fashion, and he hurls it at the wall off to the left. It punches clean through in a spray of bone and gore. The monster begins to shriek and yowl from the pain, its nerve endings finally catching up with what's being done to it.
This is the third one I've run into. Like colossal lice sucking on the blood of this planet. It's got a brain around here somewhere.
Point us in the direction, Father. We shall rend it asunder.
He tosses his head up and laughs to the sky. A distinct, maddening cackle.
As the Legion says, skins for the Emperor.
Concern.
What have we made? What have we done?
If you've turned
Because I
our
don't really-
Chroma Chaos ways, I'm gonna be real annoyed.
Now-
our fault.
I
We
don't
just showed up.
think he's chaos based. I think he's just skin hungry.
He's just skin.
lunatic.
Yeah. He's just skin hungry.
Plus, I was trying to think, right, maybe I encourage him to be calm. It's like a battle tactic or something, but we don't really know to not let him get too mad, right? Obviously, if we can assume getting him like the murder.
Exactly.
I mean, he's been fine with us for like 40 odd years at this point.
The thing is, it's a bit of a Jekyll and Hyde switch from his normal thoughtful, playful to this sudden actual full-on battle beast. Like, even when we were fighting the other Primarchs and so forth, like, he seemed semi-contained. Right now, he is off the leash.
What did you say, Nick? What did you say to him?
What did you do?
What did you say to our Primarch to make him go battle mad?
It wasn't me!
I think perhaps seeing his sons massacred en masse and then being confronted with the giant beasts that remind him of these giant beasts that, to be fair, he didn't know were down here, that remind him of the only home he's ever known, has
Ben,
perhaps
something
whacked
for you.
him in the childhood trauma, and not just Mortarion, leaving Magnus as the most balanced emotional Primarch in the situation.
Oh, that makes me to steal a word from yourself, deeply uncomfortable.
Concern.
Meanwhile, back at Coayah's third of the plot, this is the fourth tower that you've taken out in this fashion, winding your way through the Weathermancers. You arrive, you destroy the building, either by being tossed up into it, fighting your way through its lower reaches, or simply destroying it from the ground up. You and Araman have formed a fairly good working relationship. He respects your ironclad will in the face of this oncoming emotional turmoil, which would force many less protected or more traumatized minds to succumb to their innate bloodlust. But not you, not strong Coayah, clearly indicative of his legion's strength of character.
That's my secret, Araman. I'm always fuck-ass mad.
That's a disturbing image, to be fuck-ass mad.
Like, so it's no surprise that, like, for a while now I've been phased out
On that.
We all know what drew me back into this conversation, so I'm not going to beat around that.
My side around my mouth.
Fucking Carl. So, what are we doing, Coayah?
I presume there's more people.
Oh, there's a decent chunk of these towers. So far, it's just been you, Ahriman, and Ahriman's cabal, slowly working your way through these assorted key defensive nodes.
Do we look done?
No, you don't.
No, then we will rip and we will tear until it is done.
Yeah, I'll take a weapon skill.
I'm not happy about these fucking witches. These parliaments everywhere.
I'll take a weapon skill, and in the interest of fairness, young Nicholas, you can roll for Ahriman. Ahriman's rolling a willpower.
Oh, yeah.
I have one fate left.
Do you want to use it, or do you want to let it stand?
I'm going to use it. I don't get shown up by Ahriman.
Shown up by Ahriman? I feel like that would be walking into a plasma bomb.
Yeah, funny that.
On 100. What was your DOS there?
Do I still count as frenzied? I'm probably not, because this is a long-ass combat.
Yeah, but you're fighting things you hate.
I do dislike them. Okay, if I'm still frenzied, then that is 5.
Fair. 5 degrees of success. And Ahriman's actually only on 2. Oh, willpower, though.
Yeah, unnatural willpower.
Oh, yeah,
Ahriman.
no, he's on way more than that. Okay. So with your combined degrees of success, I really shouldn't have let Ahriman roll willpower there. I shouldn't. That was a mistake. Thank you for your little nod of support, Ollie. That's appreciated.
To be fair, I get the idea that he's just repeating the same thing we did at the first tower on every single tower. So he's just picking me up, throwing me through the roof into distraction, and then going through the walls.
Those were actually the telekines in his cabal. Ahriman, his specialty is in prognostication. So what he's doing is, in fact, using his powers to pick the perfect time and moment to spike you through the wall without getting you tossed into the air by the wind currents, and then having his cabal toss you.
Is that like the exact opposite of procrastination?
Sorry, I'll be back.
No.
I was only going off based off the similarity of the words. And
that said, reluctantly, the two of you, between you, have an extremely, distressingly high degree of efficiency. Give me a D3, please, Coayah. This is the number of hours it's taking you to cleanse the inner city of its... to disable the inner city's major defenses.
Like the world's deadliest bowling ball.
Like the world's deadliest bowling ball indeed, as over the course of the next 2 hours, you, Ahriman, and Ahriman's cabal between you take down the weather defense spires, one after another, after another, after another. I think you've earned yourself your peer, Ahriman, if you'd like to add that as a talent to your sheet, as, assuming you consent to it, the chief librarian has clearly grown to respect you, and hopefully vice versa.
Huzzah!
As the last of the major weather towers form, the weathermancers are still bringing in tornadoes from the outside, but they're coming slower and slower. And you see the first of the Death Guard Stormbirds overhead begin to force their way down through the tumultuous skies. Oriatrith's weather shield, at least here, is broken. You're a little bit in the future for everyone else, but what do Coayah?
Are we done? Are there more?
There's a lot more people in the city to go off and kill. Yeah, it's just you've broken the back of the defences enough that reinforcements can start to come down. And the Death Guard are oh so ready to burn some witches.
I mean, I ain't gonna suffer no Johnny-come-latelys. I'm gonna keep my total racking up.
Fair. Who are you prioritising now?
I mean, I presume there's more of these, like, cabals everywhere, or parliaments, as I've been calling them.
There are certainly more parliaments in more minor towers. Yeah, I guess it's a term of respect, right? Ahriman considers his own group of soldiers a cabal, so, you know, you're terming these witches parliaments. Completely different. No way the same.
Wearing weird bird helmets. They're clearly trying to be owls.
logically. So there are many other more minor defenses, as well as like pedestrian defenses as well, and civilian centres should they call to you.
I think I'm going to try and take out more parliaments.
Okay, you've got Araman there helping. That's going to sight you pretty damn well.
What would you like?
I will take I'm going to give you I don't want to just give you another weapon skill, because I feel like you're going to blaze through it immediately. I want it to be a little bit more difficult.
Perhaps I should be taking willpower test, given I've been in a battle frenzy for quite some time
That's
at this point.
A very good point. Yeah, willpower test, because you're killing whoever you're meeting at this stage anyway. So let's see how good your targeting is.
That is not going well, and I don't have fate.
Yeah, you don't. Araman tries to lure you desperately towards a tower that looks like it could whip up some reasonable degree of defense, but at long last your frayed mental state breaks. You're not complete... Oh wait, no. How many degrees of failure was that?
So I don't think I don't know why it gives it, because Frenzy gives plus 10 to willpower, but I've never played it like it does. So that's 4 if I don't get the plus 10, 3 if I do. But I don't understand why Frenzy gives you willpower tests to resist the effect of Frenzy.
It is, I think, probably intended for, like, resisting people, like, causing fear.
Controlling you, but equally I don't see why I should get it
against the frenzy
negative
itself.
Effects of Frenzy.
I think that's entirely fair. Okay, so we'll call it 4 degrees of failure then. Yeah, your ironclad control breaks at last. Purpose is gone, and now that little voice in the back of your head, that increasingly loud, dull, throbbing echo, calls on you to just let loose and enjoy yourself. There are skins, and perhaps skulls, to be taken. You lose yourself in the slaughter. You can't even tell if you're in the civilian quarters of the city, if you're fighting armed defenders, or if you're still fighting witches. All you know is that Araman and his cabal are gone. And at some point, eventually, you find yourself fighting alongside squads of Death Guard troops. As they push...
I'm just going to be running in, screaming ahead of them, screaming, "Death to the parliaments of witches!"
And behind you, the Death Guard take up the cry.
Today's been a productive day in the life of Coayah, I feel.
He's achieved a lot of his personal goals. Meanwhile, 2 hours in the past, Maccy and Cozcatl. What are we doing? You're muted, Ollie. Or otherwise not making noise. Which means Cozcatl is completely unsupervised. Cozcatl, in what direction are you taking Maccy, who we totally can't hear at all anymore?
We're going northwest.
It's a real shame Ollie isn't here.
It is a real shame Ollie isn't here. I, for one, welcome new Legion Master Cozcatl, who, having picked up the fancy hat, has taken charge of everyone, and is now a full-player character.
Sweet.
That is how it works, to be fair. I'm not even mad, I'm just impressed. Someone's finally...
First act as Legion Master, which Carl has PM'd to me, is to reassign all of the Terminator armor from Havoc for his personal use.
Naturally. And I will also be restructuring the Destroyer and Havoc companies. Now each Havoc company is commanded by a member of the Destroyer.
That feels... I don't even know how to feel about that, I won't lie.
Did you suddenly really realise that you never ever want fucking Kuzco to die?
Because this is the character I'm getting when he does.
I'm so terrified.
I can and will put Carl in charge of Destroyer cadre.
I mean, that would be great. Don't get me wrong. I'm here for that. I'm just not down with Carl in charge of Havoc.
You want him to be playing his character as like the annoying fan from Oblivion, but with rad weaponry.
Yes, I'm fine with that. On many levels, I'm also very uncomfortable with that, but I'm also fine with that. Yeah, we're going northwest and just try and find Dear Daddy Primarch.
He was northeast.
Northeast, sorry. Same difference. It's 9.
Okay. I will take... Do we have, like, a tracking skill or something, perhaps?
I think there is actually tracking, but do we have any IFF? Even from I know we said earlier it's being distorted by bombs, but do we have any IFF whatsoever? Surely that's like a built-in thing to our helmet.
Yeah, I don't think it's super good, but I think that's more of like a dramatic storytelling thing.
Do you have tracking though? I do have tracking trained, apparently.
You've got tracking. Yeah, I'll let you roll it. You can do it over... It says intelligence. You can do perception.
Yeah, okay. So 50 or under. Can I use my sight or my sound to get a plus 10?
Sure.
Cool. Okay, so that is 60 or under. I'm going to fate reroll that. Yeah, I made that.
The two of you begin winding your way northeast, picking through fight after fight, and increasingly more and more of those strange ravines cutting through the landscape. It's been perhaps 30 minutes before you pass by your first major clue. The split-open corpse of something that looks like nothing so much as a giant sculpture of a maggot, a colossal tick feeding off of the city's lifeblood. The only thing that clues you in that this is not a structure is that you came upon it from the face end, and you can see the light slowly leaving the dying Leviathan's eyes, minute by minute, as its bulk causes it to simply take too long to expire. They're not human eyes, for the record. No, I suppose that would be worse. No, they're large, dim bulbs.
I want to place a single shot from the wrist-mounted bolt pistols I have. You said these Terminators have the wrist-mounted and then.
No,
they're not wrist-mounted.
Oh, sorry. Is it? Okay, where are they mounted then?
They're
in your hand.
Held in your hand, but the ammo thing ties to is under.
Okay, so I have the Reaper autocannon then.
Yeah, that's a good point. You don't have a bolt pistol. You have a Reaper autocannon.
I wasn't saying bolt pistol. I said I thought there was like this wrist-mounted.
Okay,
bolt
the autocannon is underslung under your wrist.
So that's underslung.
Sorry, you were saying wrist-mounted bolt pistol, and Benji and I were both picturing a wrist-mounted bolt pistol, which is a thing, as opposed to your underslung Reaper. It's okay, confusion.
Yeah. I'll place one shot for my. I think I can do single fire on it.
I think they're twin linked actually, but you can.
Yeah, they're just twin link bolters, but
they are not bolters. They are autocannons.
Oh, I'm sorry. Depends on.
Sorry, how dare you offend my glorious Reaper, home to the most beautiful bayonet in all of 40k. I love it.
It is gorgeous, isn't it? I'll place a couple of shots in its eyes.
Its eyes, which have octagonal pupils, 8 points in each direction. Sorry, I'm looking up a Reaper autocannon with bayonet now, just because I need to show it off.
It is pretty great, to be fair.
Right, show me a knife with a bayonet, and then I'll be satisfied.
Like, I love the Reaper autocannon's bayonet because it is basically a giant, chonky chode of a sword on the end of a fucking machine gun. And it's just
tank-sized machine gun.
It is a tank-sized. It's so good. It's actually a light anti-tank. Like all the Reaper autocannon, if I remember the rules correctly, are not that bad if you can fire them into a vehicle's like unarmored bits.
Tank 7 AP3, they're pretty good, yeah.
Like that will fuck up. Not a tank unless you get it in the rear armor, but
fuck a rhino up.
Yeah, it'll fuck a rhino up.
Are they not two? Are they? I know there's several variants. Is there a Terminator variant and then a Space Marine variant?
No, there's currently one variant at the moment, which is the autocannon. The Reaper is a later invention, but we are meandering off topic. Let us finish off.
Yeah.
Discuss this later.
But I have more 3rd edition Chaos Space Marine thoughts to share.
You don't say.
They are beautiful. You fire 2 shots of 2 into either of its eyes. They don't burst, but they do seem to almost gelatinously absorb the bullets, its dying hastened by perhaps a slight extra instant. It burbles something at you, a long, low, mournful cry. and out from its sort of tall oval mouth. I guess if you imagine the brain bugs from Starship Troopers, but with a lower and much longer back to them. Building-sized, but long, like an elongated woodlouse. And the armoured segments replaced with a sort of building-esque camouflage. Its maw opens a little bit, and from inside issues a high-pitched, immediately shot myself in the foot, issues a child's voice. Please, help me.
Well, okay, curiosity is definitely overtaking me there. Right, I'm using the big old fuck-off sword attached to my autocannon. And just
I can't say no to a good bayoneting from my favourite bayonet in the entire setting.
Now, I don't have much in the way of weapon skill. Can this just be a pure strength check with my turn?
It's not even fucking miss. This thing's huge.
Yeah, that is true. You can't miss. That is a strength check.
Oh, so I think it's plus 30, so rolling the cap. Huh?
Yeah, I said it is indeed. Cos Cattle, what are you doing?
So,
Corral?
50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 8 degrees success, times that by 3, 8, 16, 24. 24 degrees success there.
That's a lot of success. Carl?
Yeah. Sorry, I was muted. Guess I'm gonna go as well.
What weapons do you have? I think you had a gun and...
A bolter and a melta bomb.
Okay, so you have a melee weapon.
Wait, no, I should have the standard chainsword.
That's true. Okay, so are you standing back? Are you eyeing this with disgust? Are you, like, laying into it with your chainsword? What's going on?
I'm shooting it. Like, I copy the command crew, but, like, there is a certain level that, like...
Yeah, you ain't going near that shit.
Yeah, like, I mean, look at that guy. Like, he's got all these battle accolades and Terminator armor. Okay?
Providing cover support.
Exactly.
Is it times 3 for Termi armor? I know it's a plus 30 to strength bonuses.
I'm pretty sure it's times 3.
Purely that's above a...
that's 3 DOS.
Actually, I'm not sure. I know it's plus 30 to strength test. I don't know if it's times 3 to the strength bonus. In either case, if it's times 2 or times 3, it's either 18 or... Sorry, it's either 16 or 24. So
we're gonna. I think we've been rolling with the times 3. So
I think we have
rolling with the times 3 here. So,
oh, actually, sorry. Enhanced strength plus 20. So I also get plus 2 strength bonus. So really, it's much higher. I was like 30 at this point.
Is this narrative damage or do we have to?
No, this is narrative damage. Ollie's on 30 degrees of success. This is very narrative.
3, like a 10th. Like okay, I'll accept. It works.
As the Legion Master walks up, filled with filled with secular fury and outrage and horror at this monstrosity in front of him, and with his ranged heavy weapon, just begins bayoneting the shit out of the thing's eyes, just really going to town on its massive bulk.
I'm also ripping open its stomach to try and find the child on the inside.
Ollie, it is building-sized and on its belly.
Oh, okay, sorry, I thought it was, like, turned around. My bad.
No. Fine. Its top is split open, like something went at it with a colossal axe.
Fair enough. Is there a child in there anywhere that I can see?
Not that you can see, no.
No, then let my secular fury flow through my blade.
While you were busy studying how to aim, I studied the blade.
The thing is, I've exclusively
raised my hand.
What was that called?
I raised my hand, but don't you still have to aim with the blade?
Brother.
He's not listening to you, Cause Cattle, as you in the background, like, gently plink off shots with your immensely deadly Macuiltotec fucking rad gun, and in front of you, this massive, towering behemoth of primal fury is just
really ignoring the fact that he's got bullets and furiously stabbing with his improvised spear over and over and over and over again.
I mean, my initial thought was to try and find the child on the inside, but if there's no child, then yes, it's just pure anger.
Yeah, no child forthcoming, unfortunately.
I hate it when that happens. In which case, yeah. It's done. Stabbed.
5 minutes later, the thing's face is gone. Instead, there's just it's the inverse of a hedgehog.
A hodgehog?
It's just a hodgehog of knife wounds and frayed, not rock-reed flesh. The thing has long since stopped gasping and screaming in the same child's voice, begging for help.
I couldn't find a child, brother, but I think I've saved it from whatever misery it was going through. Saved being a relative term, but...
Well, we have delivered imperial justice.
I feel I have.
The winds whip around the two of you. Your collar rises. Anger in both your guts. Uncoiling itself. Swirling up your throats. Disgust with anything and everything. Even, perhaps a little, with each other.
Can I make some sort of willpower test?
Sure thing. I'll take a willpower test for the both of you, please.
So it's 30 or under. Do I have anything that helps me here?
I think you might have a...
Nah.
Cos Cattle may be angry, but he knows how to direct it.
I am angry and I do not know how to direct it.
Maccy, you are filled with a deep and abiding rage. A rage that soaks down to the inner core of your being.
I really need to start pumping something into my willpower.
I'm not going to make you take it, but if you would like to, you are welcome to take a corruption point at this point.
Yeah, I'll take a corruption point. There's my first corruption point.
Like ever? Oh, wait.
Yeah, I've not taken any corruption so far.
That's not a... That's a good thing, and you want to keep it that way.
Yeah, it feels thematic.
You reflexively were going to say that's not a good thing, young Nicholas. We all heard you make that verbal mistake.
No!
Freudian slips sometimes can be so real.
This is not wrong.
I mean, considering the fact our last Legion Master got like 5 every time he interacted with the majority of the command crew, I'm actually pretty good.
Those were insanity points.
Same difference. One's just corruption of the mind, one's corruption of the soul. Are they so different?
I mean, I get what you're driving at. Yes and no. One certainly leads to the other, but the other doesn't necessarily lead to the one. And at about 19 past, I think that's probably a goodly place to leave it for the week. Does anyone have any reminders for next session? Anything they want noted down?
Oh,
Coayah is not in a good place mentally.
Apparently neither am I.
Father is in a blood rage?
Oh yeah, that's a thing. The murder Primarch.
Yeah, murder Primarch. Father is in murder mode.
Father is in murder mode. What a lie. Anyone else?
I had another run-in with some sort of psychic bullshittery, but this time I decided not to go anywhere or even interact with it. Like, I felt like I, on my own, figured it out almost. I was like, this was a good outcome. I didn't end up getting spook juice or anything else this time. I ignored it, I powered through, and I called for help.
The Legion has more experiences to make it fear, distrust, and hate Psychers forever.
It's just the way you describe it, young Nicholas. You make it sound like you're proud of yourself for not picking up a stray cat on the way home from work and taking it back to where you live, except the stray cat in this metaphor is... Oh, I guess
chaos.
Is chaos.
It's how I view chaos.
What a cute little kitten. Oh, what's your name, little guy? Any other reminders?
Father called me and Nazeem his favourite sons.
Yes.
I mean, you'll know you are, right?
Now we're doing character.
It's not going to be me.
He's never said it out loud before, and now he has.
If I recall correctly, you're on the mission literally because you're his emotional support marines.
Emotional support does not equal favourites.
Fair. No, I get what Nicholas is saying. Yeah, it like you'd hope it would indicate favour, but it might indicate something. Like it might not if you had a toxic relationship with him.
Exactly.
I mean, what have I got? Like, I think out of everyone, I've interacted with him the least, and I've just been his physician.
Yeah, Kuzco's been just quite professional with him. Kuzco's been professional. Coayah has been disappointed. Maccy has had to play the unfun parent, and Coatlmox and Nazeem have furiously enabled the shit out of him, whilst also supporting him emotionally.
I'm going to say both are the same.
Well, no, they've been healthy influences just as often as they've been unhealthy influences.
Yeah,
to be strictly fair.
Therefore, they've averaged out to 0 in terms of net good and net bad.
That's not both being the same, is it? That's doing two contradictory things. In fact, I would even say I'm perhaps being uncharitable there. I think they've both tried to be stabilizing influences a lot more than...
In which case, then, they're both as bad as each other.
Like, put support and help.
Put it this way.
And grow in his own way.
I feel like young Nicholas is a lot better as an influence on the Primarch than he is as a character looking after his own immortal well-being.
That's fair, yeah.
Nazeem's much more of an advocate.
Good, Nick.
Yeah. Any other reminders for next session?
I still have a melta bomb.
It still doesn't have... No. Did you bring the melta bomb with you on the...
Got retconned.
Yeah, he has a melta bomb, not phosphax, yeah. Because they exactly. Because they have a limited radius, so people just didn't sit next to him. So if it detonated, it would kill him and probably punch a hole in the side. But details.
Not the fire that crawls.
Yeah, exactly. Not phosphex in a contained space.
That's the best kind of phosphex.
Any other reminders? Cool. Feedback.
I don't think so.
Anything you liked, anything you disliked, anything you'd like to see more of or less of next time. I will preemptively say thank you for the immediate vibe check on this has done enough lead up to be potentially charging people a fate. That was very warranted.
I appreciate the acceptance and we'll change this to this then instead. That was really good.
Well, thank you, but it was a super. If I was going to do that, I should have forecast it more and given more agency than just one or two rolls.
I was very spooked.
I mean, spooking was intentional. I wanted there to be a tangible sense of threat, but that edged over from tangible sense of threat to bullshit, rocks fall, everyone dies, but also with zero provocation. So yeah, appreciate it on my end. Thank you for that. Any other feedback from anyone else? Cool.
I just always enjoy psychic bullshittery.
Of course you do, you're Nick.
I know, but I like it. More of it, yes, always.
All the psychic bullshit, yes, all the more.
I really enjoy listening to Horus Heresy novels and picking out different people driving with different characters. Kuzco slowly falling down the Fabius Bile path. Fucking Nazeem with Araman right there as a positive model of how to interact with the warp, and he's still going hardcore Magnus. It's just it's an entertaining time.
What? No, I'm distrusting it. What?
So yes, you are, but also not in any really meaningful way.
You know the term X for doubt, young
Now, it's mainly because I don't know what a demon is.
It's mainly because it's you, and you're drawn to the warp.
Now,
like a dying man is drawn to it.
Since I got my book, which, yes, okay, fine, put a pin in book, okay?
Okay, you know what, though, Nick, I love you very, very much, but there are many pins, and it's a very big book.
Oh.
That one hurt.
There's so many moments in these books, like especially as Thousand Suns is wearing on, where the Thousand Suns or Magnus himself are described as like looking into these hives of corruption and going, it's beautiful, this wellspring of natural power, completely not realizing most of what they're looking at. And more I hear Nazeem and I go, yeah, man, look at him there. He thinks he's got the best safeguards and he's doing his best to not take any unnecessary risks as he like fucking leapfrogs his way down a path paved with good intentions straight to hell.
8% speed run.
He made this drink from the distilled juices of a bloodthirster. He wants us to drink liquid chaos. Yes, drink the liquid chaos.
I'm at that dangerous level where it's like, I know how the world works, I just don't know any of the lore. Or like the detail, like this event happened to this person because this happened, right? I don't have that info. I just know how it works. So you can see how like I'm actually following the character paths because they're actually scarily logical.
So like, oh wait, no, it's gone. Never mind.
Yeah. I mean, it is not a criticism. It is I think at least something of a compliment. So we've got fucking Ortec Moore is very much the character that drives most with Coayah for me. Fabius Bile for Kuzco.
Ortec Moore? That's not a good sign.
I mean, it's your character, man.
Yeah, but still.
For everyone else, that means by the end of the heresy, even odds that Coayah is going to be crashing moons into planets.
To be fair,
if you can see anyone do it, yeah, exactly.
I can see Coayah being like, I can't believe I have to crash a moon into this planet because everyone's a dick down there. And that would be the justification.
I don't currently have good, like, these are the obvious transfer characters for Coatlmox and Maccy. But that doesn't mean that they don't also still feel like very 40k characters to me. So I'm still loving their arcs. Coatlmox's desperate attempts to cheat death, and Maccy being the third, it's not technically the third Legion Master to succumb to this, but the third player character, what has been in charge to slowly succumb to the natural cycle of too much pressure, everyone else under me sucks, I will get distracted with side activities, increasingly give power to someone else, now fuck all these people, lose the election.
You think you lose the election, but really, because all my space marines are the treasurers and pursers, I still maintain all the power.
A lame duck Legion Master is a terrifying concept.
I'm lame duck right now?
No. I'm saying your threat there is to make another future Legion Master into a lame duck.
I see.
What I'd love to see is we have some sort of spineless NPC becomes Legion Master somehow, and we all just we just intimidate him so much, or like we're just like, hey, can you just do this? He's like, I was like, come on, you fucking do this. I was like, okay. He goes up and does this, like, there's just like this, there's no proper top to it. Like, we're all just...
I have been considering opening up NPCs for voting purposes.
So Nick just gave me both an excellent and a terrible idea.
Let's do it!
Which is, we become a leadership team. As in, all of us are Legion Master. We all have the experience. We all have the knowledge. And we all have the terrible, and very questionable impulse, control.
How about we do it?
The Council of Masters.
To be fair, Coayah isn't going to listen to anyone anyway. He's going to do his own thing. And then all of us will quite happily defer to Primarch anyway for any tiebreakers.
I won't.
No, yeah, okay. Yeah. You're off your own fine, but that's fine.
What are you saying there, Cread?
Oh, I've lost it, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay, so my final point of feedback then there will be, I am sorry that I was a bit brusque there earlier, Ollie, but thank you for, after it was mentioned, you then didn't step on people's toes, so appreciate it.
It's funny because I do normally think people Carl seems to be the one who gets talked over quite a lot. I don't know if that's just the quality of the mic or something that you have, Carl, but I think you come through quite soft. And so I always try to be quite careful about not talking over Carl. And then so to be the first one called out over it feels...
It's his silky smooth voice.
He does have a silky smooth voice.
So soft.
But no, I mumble quite a lot and I do appreciate it. It's usually quite good. It was just one of the stars aligning sort of moments, you know.
Yeah, it wasn't intended to be a wider pattern thing. And I also don't think it's like people deliberately being rude. I think it's people being eager to chat, which is good, and then like very slight latency issues combining in different ways to mean that people speak at awkward moments. And there's not much we can do about that to a degree, because it's a technical problem, but still. Feels like things got better in many ways, though. Questions? Anything anyone was narratively unclear over that session? Was everyone following the plot?
Yes. No.
I don't know.
I'm sure I was, yeah. I got a bit weirded out by the Leviathan for a second then, but I was like, gotcha.
Horrible Xenos monster.
Yeah, no.
I was like, how have I just walked into the warp?
How have you walked into the warp on the planet that was shitting warp hurricanes at people?
Well, it's still a bit of a step to just walk into the warp.
If you'd flared your senescience up a little bit, I think you might have noticed that the warp's been here the whole damn time.
My senescience is maxed out.
But were you tuned into it? I guess I could have asked you to do it reflexively.
Fair enough. I should probably ask to use it a bit more. Actually, it's like, what are you trying to do with it? It's like, I don't know, just seeing for warp things.
Scanning for active warp phenomena, I guess, would be the thing that it sounded like you were trying to do there.
But I guess, like, what I was just going to expect, like, yes, there's lots, because, yes, there are psychics down here doing all sorts of psychic stuff.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like, as mentioned, they're shitting warp hurricanes at people. Or at least warp-tainted hurricanes at people. So, yeah.
So it was a bit superficial, I felt, to, like, try to do any senescience.
I mean, yeah, you wouldn't have been able to pick up much other than, like, swirling currents of warp energy everywhere. You're basically in a big old warped... the warpish equivalent of wandering into the Chernobyl reactor, at least from your perspective. Probably one of the more warp-tainted areas you've ever been.
Yeah, I might pick... Actually, can you add that to a reminder? Use more senescience to avoid walking into warp Leviathan stomachs.
Weirdly, not the first time.
Yeah, just as a rule on this planet, on this battle going forwards, let's just check. We're not gonna like turn a corner, like senescience real quick. Just it's a Leviathan before we just walk in.
Every room is a mimic Leviathan. Roll initiative.
I'm now paranoid every room.
That's just bad dungeon design.
Kuzco in the ships above going, planet's sure looking like an eye these days.
Is that a mouth opening up?
Sips from coffee mug. They're in danger.
You know what? Not the first time we as players have seen a character turn into a demon. Probably not the last.
Wait, did I put a teleportarium on board in the end? I don't think I did.
Yes. You said we had one.
I said I did, but I don't think I put it on the ship. Yeah, I don't see it.
Let's put it on. Let's put the teleportarium on.
I guess there's probably space somewhere.
I have to ask.
We could sacrifice
what worms are the ones that have infested the part of the hull?
Ah, yeah. What worms? Who's worming through the tunnel? What used to be your armored prow there, Coatlmox? Could it be your rampantly out of control cult networks?
And now battle servitors I keep creating and loosing into the vents.
Oh no.
Yeah, that is an upgrade in Rogue Trader.
It's fucking beautiful. I love it.
Well. Anywho. Yeah, when I do the vents, that's going to be a whole cultic situation. So, let's do some exploit. Variation, you say?
Mm-hmm.
Don't like it.
Those are the highlights. Oh god, I have to do so much scrolling these days. Illegal. Plot progression. Does anyone feel it made a plot progression this session?
Found father.
Sorry, yeah. You did find the Primarch.
Mm-hmm.
Destroyed the parliaments of Ahold. The parliaments of Psychers? The Parliament's douchebags. There we
go. Eloquent.
Anything else?
I made a friend.
Yeah, I was not calling that young Nicholas would piss off Araman and Benji would make friends with him. Was not how I expected that campaign sequence to go.
I would say, like, not necessarily as direct influence XP-wise, but, like, the situation has escalated everywhere. Like, just as a note.
I will put it under reminders.
Sorry, yeah, because, like, it just reminded me. Like, shit got real. Like, real.
The unrealist of real. Character development. Does anyone feel like they developed their character this session?
Can't develop a stand-in, can I?
I
guess
we'd potentially allow it, but I'm also not sure because Cattle did develop much this session.
That really didn't.
I'm going to say something along the lines of, I didn't shoot the basically unarmored civilians. I just terrified them into running away. I could have shot them. I could have mown them down.
That's not really character development for you. You've always pitched yourself since since the first time you got back at the ship. You've pitched yourself as the person who doesn't do that.
Yeah, you're right. You're totally right. I just wanted to see if I could say anything. It's fine.
I was trying to get glory in the spell, and my hopes have been continually dashed.
That is very true. I feel like that's more my fault than anyone else's.
I say, Nazeem's now like, there's this other side to father. Note to self. Father has a skins mode. Does make sense, but confirmed he has it now.
Are you suggesting that exposing him to warp-tainted air and extremes of emotion plus childhood trauma and battle and mass death of his sons would perhaps cause some kind of untoward, unexpected reaction in your hitherto loving himbo?
Oh shit, he just sanguineous himself, didn't he? Oh crap!
He's going to break the planet over his Chadley knee. Any other highlights? Sorry, any other character development? Cool. Excellence of roleplay. Does anyone feel like anyone else roleplayed particularly well this session?
I thought the intro sequence with Benji and doing the whole, what do I call them, and ending on Parliament witches.
Fair. Anything else?
I thought Cread and young Nicholas did very well when they were, I suppose, Ollie at the same time as well, with that whole "you are weak, Corvus" stick, where there's like, "Don't worry, father, I'm coming, I'll get you out."
Yeah, I'm really enjoying using Ollie as my evil puppet voice. I need to,
a very good evil puppet.
Yeah, it's not bad, right? I need to write him some lines in advance rather than winging them at some point. Also, Maccy as the voice of insecurities is a lovely perversion, because, Coayah shit-talking people, you can absolutely see that. He did that all the time as Legion Master, or at least was blunt with people. Maccy, on the other hand, is generally quite conciliatory. So, Maccy coming in and going, "Nah, mate, you're shit." It's just delightfully out of character in a perverse way.
I quite enjoy it. I mean, I hate to enjoy my voice because I'm doing it as well.
Well, you don't generally play. You don't generally play dreadful characters, in my experience, Ollie. You do sometimes employ a dreadful voice for your characters, but it's not commonplace. So it's nice to hear it every now and then.
I agree.
I think that's one of the reasons that we always remember Ferdinand. Is he wasn't serious terribly often, because you're not generally serious with your characters very often. But when he did have ethical red lines, the serious voice came out, and then and I will spike as many of you into
medieval concrete equivalent as I have to prove this tone. Any other Excellence of Roleplay awards?
I did like Cole's commitment to the bit, even though he wasn't saying many words. Like, he felt properly, like his character felt, quite like Cody.
My perception of Coscatl this session was that he was doing his best to be Toady and spent a lot of it in stunned silence, having his illusions ripped away from him, even though his standards for illusion fulfillment are quite low.
I mean, it really is. I've got no idea what the command crew's actually like beyond rumours and hearsay, It's just like...
I really like the hesitation bit, where I was trying to imitate wait, what are you doing? Oh, I'll do that as well.
Yeah, I totally wasn't just going to open fire.
Okay, I make that out to be then 180 experience points for session number 47. That's 30 points of plot progression, finding father alive, destroying the witch parliaments, and Coayah and Araman made friends. 20 points character development, that's Coatlmox's quest for glory dashed. Nazeem has concerns about father. And Nazeem has concerns about father. 30 points, excellence of roleplay. That's Coayah and Araman discussing technicalities. Cread and young Nicholas plus Ollie engage in totally logical voice shenanigans. And Coscatl's low standards for impressive command crew conduct being completely unfulfilled, plus your standard 100 general. Which brings us on to everyone's favourite part of the session. It's the highlights. Young Nicholas, do you have any highlights for that session?
Oh, no! Save us.
Well, only because of your psychic distress call. Anything else?
Yes. Chaos is a kitten I shouldn't take home. I don't know why that's doing me so much.
Just picture you getting in at the door and holding up a tiny, damp, moist-sounding disc of Zinch. Papa, look! Can I keep him? Anything else?
I have got one more. I don't want to take it away from Ollie if he's going to put it in. So I'm going to leave it there for now.
Go for it. You say it.
Sure.
Yep.
What is it? What was wording? Is that a distressed person? I shall cut it out of them. I want to word that better, but I can't. It's just the trying to intimidate, someone's help me voice, and it's I'll cut you open then. They're going, wait, what? And then just rip and tear.
I was thinking, it was some sort of mech, which was using children as some sort of fuel.
The impression I got was that it was trying to intimidate, but not impersonate that. And he was it must be inside. It's just planned backfired.
I mean, to me, it strikes me as the logical conclusion. If there's a child in there saying, help me, I need to find the child inside the beast. And the only way to do that, cut it open. We're going surgical in this motherfucker.
Beast's cries for help, backfire. No, that's a better one.
It was optimistic of the beast. Anything else?
Coayah would be the one to throw a moon at a planet. Just that realization, that acceptance. That oh yeah.
Well, the moment, the first time I've heard Benji go, oh, maybe Coyah's going down a dark path in a while, going, yeah, Autek Moore, the obvious likely compatriot for Coayah.
You always want to be Raldoran, and you end up as Autek Moore.
Yeah. Dear. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Cool. Creed, do you have any highlights for that session?
Yeah, someone note it down. It was professionals have standards. Standards in quotes, please.
Extremely valid call out of your entire legion. Cool. Anything else?
That was it.
Corral, do you have any highlights for that session?
I believe the only one I have that has been mentioned, at least I don't call it, was Parliament of Witches. I think it was Witches. Yeah, Witches.
Okay, anything else?
Monkey See, Marine Do.
Fair. Anything else?
That's it, thanks.
Cool. Benji, do you have any highlights for that session?
I still have a melta bomb.
Anything else?
Ollie's desperate attempts to use a Reaper autocannons as a melee weapon somehow working.
You say desperate.
Yeah,
I
was going to say 30 degrees of success. That was the Primarch killing tier stuff.
The thing is, theoretically, every time I use that as a strength test, I'm more than likely going to head it, because I'm always rolling a cap.
It's probably not good for the barrels of the Reaper, but also...
Almost certainly terrible.
But also, I love Reaper autocannons, and I love Reaper autocannons with bayonets, so I thoroughly playing to the GM's preferences here. They're probably... Sorry?
I can't work out if it's min-maxing on being a munchkin, but, you know...
They're probably one of my favourite guns in the entire setting. I love them.
The gun heavily used by 3rd edition Chaos is your favourite gun?
I don't know if I'd say it's my favourite, but it's definitely up there.
But you've also got to remember Ewan's favourite character is Nick, who's also 3rd edition Chaos, so it kind of tracks.
I usually describe my favourite pen and paper character.
My final one is 83% of the command crew realise they can't dodge.
How 83%?
It was 5 out of 6. Carl can't dodge because he doesn't have any combat stats, and everyone else can't dodge because they're all in sturmy armor.
Sorry. Anything else?
No, that's it for me.
Cool. Ollie, do you have any highlights for that session?
So, the only one I have that no one else has mentioned so far is filled with religious ... secular fury.
Oh no, it was divine. That was it.
It's very divine, yes, you are totally right. And I mean, to be fair, that was a GM comment, but I did find it quite funny.
Oh yeah.
You robbed me of an episode title there.
Put it in as the episode title.
No, I don't like the episode titles to be highlights. That would very much offend the no one who's reading the video. I guess I'm a little bit behind on the videos. But anything else? Ollie?
No, nothing else. I said everyone else has covered pretty much all the ones I had.
Fair. I think everything's supposed to be... Oh no, we're missing an obvious one. Keeping the standard bearer's arm on the standard.
We still got the standard.
You do, yes.
Well, that's just a tradition now. The hand stays on the standard. Now, it might not stay on the pole of the standard, but it will stay with the standard.
That's fair.
I get that in reminded, actually. Standard still has bearer's arm attached.
Where's my whole set? Because I had a thing somewhere.
Eventually, the Legion will last long enough where we can make the entire standard pole out of the hands of those who have held it before.
Oh.
It's just like... it's just like the pole itself is just like armor and bone.
Yeah, that's a Space Marine-y thing to do.
Yeah. Please, Corn, don't look at us. Please, don't look at me like that.
He's thinking of fucking Dawn's scrimshawed hands, this Imperial Fistaboo.
Actually wasn't.
A likely story.
I was thinking more Blood Angels covering everything they've sodding got with their own bones. Like, what's his face? Ossian is still their Lord Commander at this point.
I really deeply love that the Blood Angels are, like, the closest equivalent to both angels and Santa Claus in the Imperium, and they're just innately vampires. Imagine if Santa Claus was a secret vampire in the real world. It's really funny to me.
I mean, He lives at a place that gets incredibly low amounts of sunlight. He only comes out at night.
Yeah, only in the winter though.
He comes to those who send him.
When he's active.
Yeah, no, but he comes to those who send him invitations to enter their dwelling.
There are certain vampiric signatures to certain
He leaves gifts for people at night as well.
There's a Hunter's Hunted game in here somewhere.
Hunting Santa Claus.
Thank you all for a very entertaining session of 47.
Sorry, I have one more.
Oh, yeah.
That looks dangerous.
How much XP
What was that in relation to? 180.
184? Sorry,
how much?
180, Ollie.
Thank you.
Sorry, Carl.
Note that down as well. When we were joking about Kuzco being back on the ship, looking out the window and just seeing like an eye appear on the planet, and it's like, ooh, that looks dangerous.
Bit mug of cocoa.
Yeah, goes back to work.
Fair. Cool. In that case, thank you all for a very entertaining session number 47. Does anyone have any final words for the recording?
Oh boy, here I go perverting the course of nature again.
I want to keep the Chaos Kitten, please.
No Chaos Kitten for you.
Oh.